All right, good afternoon, everybody. We are now reconvening our regular public meeting. The meeting will come to order. May I have roll call, please, Lupe?
Trustee Vela.
Here.
Trustee Fong.
Here.
Trustee Henderson.
Here.
Trustee Hoffman.
Here.
Trustee Moreno.
Here.
Trustee Vela.
Here.
Trustee Veres.
Here.
Student Trustee Geronimo.
Present.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. We are now going to do the flag salute. We are going to have Dr. Carmen Dones lead us in the flag salute today. Dr. Carmen Dones is a mother, Latina, and first-generation college student. She's currently a dean at West LA College, where she completed her AS degree in dental hygiene. She returned to her alma mater to teach in the dental hygiene program in 2006 after completing her bachelor's degree at Cal State University, Los Angeles. She also served as the director of the dental hygiene program and chair of health sciences. One of her greatest accomplishments was establishing the dental hygiene associate's degree program into a successful bachelor's degree program at West LA College. And we are one of 15 bachelor's degree programs in the state of California and the only one in dental hygiene. Dr. Dones completed her doctoral degree at Cal State University Northridge, and soon after, she was appointed by Governor Gavin Newsom to the California Dental Hygiene Board, serving in the role of educator. So welcome, Carmen, and can you please lead us in the flag salute today?
Yes, thank you very much. I'm honored for the opportunity, and I'd like to, before I get started, wish everybody a very happy, safe, and healthy holiday. So please join me in reciting the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dones.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And very proud. We're very proud of you.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to ask everybody who's in here as a panelist at this time to please mute yourselves. So if you can just hit your mute button for this part of the program. Thank you so much. All right. We have several special guests with us this afternoon. This is a very exciting day that will be administering the ceremonial oath of office for those of us who were elected on November 3rd. We are going to begin the ceremony with Trustee David Vela, who will be sworn in by Insurance Commissioner Ricardo Lara, followed by the oath of office for me, and immediately after for Trustee Mike Fong, and we will be sworn in by the Mayor of Los Angeles, Eric Garcetti. After that, we will have the ceremonial oath of office for Nichelle Henderson, who will be sworn in by Gardena City Council member Mark Henderson. So I'm chairing this part of the meeting and trying to chair the meeting at the same time, so please bear with me. Without further ado, Insurance Commissioner Lara and Trustee Vela, it is time for you to take the oath of office, Trustee Vela.
Thank you, Audra. It's great to be here with everyone. So, Trustee Vela, if I can get you to raise your right hand and repeat after me, please. I, David Vela, do solemnly swear.
I, David Vela, do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of California.
And the Constitution of the State of California.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of California.
And the Constitution of the State of California.
That I take this obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely.
Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully.
That I will well and faithfully.
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations again, Trustee Vela.
Thank you so much, Commissioner.
Thank you
Appreciate it.
all. It's been an honor for me to serve the oath to my dear friend, Trustee Vela, or David, as I like to call him. You know, David and I have a long standing friendship, and our families are mutual friends. And so I just want to take a moment, Trustee Vela, to acknowledge your beautiful mother, Angie, your great and amazing grandmother, your sister, and all your nieces and nephews and your brothers for standing with you during this. You know, we know all elections are pretty much insane, but this one was particularly unique given the situation and the circumstances that we all found ourselves in. And so, you know, I stood shoulder to shoulder with you, David, while we served the people of East Los Angeles, you know, our hometown. And you were on behalf of the county and me on the state level. And as a school board member in the city of Montebello, you continue to demonstrate such prowess to fight for resources for those of us on the east side that might not have had an opportunity like so many other folks in our county would have, along with all the countless other volunteer positions that you have taken. I want to thank you for your service. Throughout his service, David has demonstrated his steadfast commitment to serve all the students and has never wavered as a trustee to make the tough decisions on behalf of our students so that they had the resources they needed to succeed. He has so many accomplishments and his most innovative work. I'm proud of the work he's done in terms of access to academic programs, the College Promise, you know, year 2, simplified community college application process, which is in itself an achievement on its own, taking care of our faculty and staff, ensuring safety and sustainability during these unprecedented times, ensuring no layoffs during the COVID pandemic, a balanced budget with surplus during, again, this pandemic, made available COVID resources for employees, such as time off and stipends for our frontline workers. Again, continuing that commitment to hiring a workforce that looks like the County of LA, that has the unique experiences and diversity that we are as Angelinos. I'm proud of the work he's done to open doors through diversity and inclusion. Again, understanding that our students, particularly our students at a community college level, need not just the traditional student resources, but need the wraparound student services to make sure that they can succeed and have an opportunity at the California dream. I'm proud of his partnership with housing nonprofits, Shower of Hope, LA Room and Board, and Jóvenes Inc. to utilize empty dorm rooms, hotels, and properties to house our LACCD homeless students and provide those critical wraparound services. We need to do more. And again, building those critical partnerships to create jobs, and of course, guaranteeing transparency for all of his constituents. Again, I want to thank you. David, I look forward to working with you and the rest of the board on a project that I think is critical, which is building housing on our student campus, on our college campuses. It is a shame that so many of our students are still homeless and are food insecure. These issues have existed long before the pandemic. And so if anybody could get it done as LACCD with the tremendous amount of new leaders and existing leaders that we have. So in closing, I'm just looking forward to all these partnerships, opening the doors to our students, our staff, and faculty alike. These services sometimes are the difference between a student making it into our middle class or giving up under the stresses of just mere survival. And so I've known you are a man of great integrity, of honor, and a champion for teamwork and collaboration. And with your leadership, I'm certain that LACCD will continue to usher new generations of success for all students in all walks of life. And as the first openly gay person to win a statewide office, I want to thank you for putting your name out there as an openly gay man, as a member of the LGBTQ community, to say that our voice also matters, that we have an experience that also merits to be at the table and actually lead the agenda. So, you're an example to so many of our students that currently may not see themselves and that might be questioning, their own existence. And it's people like you and the courage to run as an openly gay man that you give hope to so many of our students, in particularly those of us that, are Latino, that come from the LGBTQ community, and that we're still fighting for our own place, even within that own movement. So thank you again. Congratulations. Felicidades a la familia Vela. Felicidades a Angie y a tu abuelita, que te quieren mucho. Y es un gran orgullo latino, un gran orgullo de nuestra comunidad LGBT. Felicidades. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Insurance Commissioner Lara. It's an honor to have been sworn in by you, and I appreciate all of the hard work you do day in and day out for Californians in these unprecedented times, and thank you for your kind words. At this time, I would like my family, if they are here, to be able to raise their hand as a participant on Zoom so I can recognize you at the end of this ceremony. I assume for most of us, the most important milestones in our lives are truly forever engraved in our minds. For me, it has been witnessing my grandmother and mother grow older, wiser, prettier, my siblings marrying and having children, my nieces graduating from college, preschool, and my friends achieving success. But most importantly, it has been helping others through public service. However, public service does not mean much unless you have purpose. For me, it's imperative and a moral mandate that as a society, we are able to provide a quality education to anyone who desires it. I firmly believe that it is one of the great equalizers in this country. However, it has not always been afforded to all Americans. Perhaps it's our duty together to remove any obstacle that would prohibit someone from achieving their educational goals. Perhaps it is up to us and only us to look at ourselves and to say, can I help? Do I have an advantage that our students today do not have? Perhaps it's the audacity of obtaining an education or asking for one. Perhaps is that we should care for our communities. Perhaps it's that the individualists that formed this country had it all wrong, and that maybe caring for one another in times of need and in times of pandemics and uncertainty is what is right and moral. So it is no surprise that my pathway to victory was paved with keeping students first and foremost on my platform. It is no surprise that when you incorporate the very people we are impacting, then they will respond and shed light on your cause. More importantly, what was revealed during this campaign is something I always knew students had: resilience. Community college students have always been resilient. Regardless of a digital divide, a pandemic, and a civil rights movement, a long overdue civil rights movement, our students said, I'm going to continue and persevere. But it's in the DNA of a community college student to never give up. And when times get tough, to adapt. We see our students time and time again rely on each other to overcome barriers, sitting in parking lots to obtain Wi-Fi, delivering food to make a living, and working on the front line as healthcare workers, retail, and many more jobs that we all depend on. Our students care for one another and lead by example. It was these students that motivated me to seek office and to continue the work I started. It was these students who vocalized the need for an African-American outreach and recruitment program, for LGBT rights, and for equal rights for dreamers. It was their voice that I listened to in a sea of voices. It was their voice that came piercing through my brain when making decisions on this board. It was their voice that motivated me to press upon my colleagues and administration to enter into partnerships with nonprofits, the county, the city of LA, to provide housing opportunities, and we need to do more. Their voice was the catalyst for the increase in food pantries, emergency grants, laptop distributions, and continuing our building program. It was their voice who motivated a whole district to care about basic needs and adopting the first ever LGBTQIA Bill of Rights that I'm very proud of. And finally, it is their voice that motivates me every day to ensure that we might make the internet available to every student, which is something I'm going to be working on in the next 4 years, not as a utility, but as a right. So the hard work starts now, and I'm so excited to work with students, faculty, administration, and all of you watching to make this happen. I want to thank my family, my mother, Evangelina Vela, who's here, my grandmother, Ana Maria Valtierra, my sister, my nieces, all of my family, my brothers, my sisters, and my cousins who are here watching. I also want to thank my partner, Victor, Valerio, my friends, my supporters, my students, AFD 1521 leadership, Joanne Waddell, Bill Ellerton, Natalina Montero, John McDowell, all of the people that also worked in the COPE committee, Marcel Morales, Felipe Cardano, AFD 1521A and their leadership, SEIU 721 and 99, Teamsters 911, LA Democratic Party, Chair Mark Gonzalez, LA County Federation of Labor, volunteers, and all of the voters. Also want to thank my campaign folks, David Moraz, Paulina Velasco, and Katia Velasco for their hard work. And congratulations to my colleagues, Andrew Hoffman, Mike Fong, and Nichelle Henderson. It was a pleasure sharing this experience with you all. I could not have imagined doing this without you. I can't wait to work with you. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a fantastic holiday season. Muchísimas gracias, and si se pudo.
Thank you, Trustee Vela, and congratulations. All right, now I am going to call up Mayor Eric Garcetti, who will administer the oath of office to me. Then he will administer the oath of office to my colleague, Trustee Mike Fong, and then Mayor will ask you after you've done both to make some comments.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, President Hoffman, and congratulations to Trustee Vela. Beautiful speech, and thank you to our insurance commissioner. You both really brought a lot of emotion to this meeting, which I know is a necessary meeting, but it's been a year full with so much loss, so much pain. It's wonderful to see these rays of light coming through the clouds right now, embodied by our incredible trustees. And thank you, Madam President, for the honor of being able to swear you into office, because I'm honored to be a part of this celebration. The leading lights of our community, not just Commissioner Lara, our Mayor Pro Tem, Mark Henderson, a great Chancellor, Francisco Rodriguez, all the college presidents, and most of all, the trustees and the public who elected you and who are the stakeholders of the best community college system in the United States of America, if not the world. You know, this has been a year we're gathering at an extraordinary moment, as I was sharing, that is full of the horror and the hope of today. The hope of finally some light at the end of the tunnel, but what we see all around us, loved ones, family members, colleagues, people in hospitals, folks worried, livelihoods and lives lost all around us. There's no question this is the toughest moment of our life as a city, a toughest moment of our life as a country, and one of the toughest moments of our life around the globe. But the first glimmers of daybreak that are coming after this long and bitter night are embodied in our board president. With the signs of light, we know there's so much work to be done, but many things that this board under your leadership has pursued aren't new to a pandemic. Maybe they've just been more accentuated, but you've had your eye on justice, you've had your eye on opportunity, you've had your eye on equity from the beginning of your career. And whether you've done that in your day job or whether you do it in this day and night job of public service, you put yourself out there, a Valley girl that a Valley boy gets to swear in, and for all of us, a hope and inspiration and embodiment of what's great. You know that students who are sacrificing their studies to take care of siblings or to support their parents, young scholars whose college plans felt like they were crumbling in the face of this pandemic, you have lifted them up. And your answer has been, the future is yours for the taking. No dreams will be deferred. And you're going to recommit to that sacred work of making sure everybody has their shot at their dream. To Andrew Hoffman and Mike Fong and David Vela and Nichelle Henderson, and to Steve Edis and Ernie Moreno, you guys really are the line between hope and hopelessness. And I've seen that, and I've been so proud to partner with you. And for Andra, when you joined the board in 2015, one thread has connected all of your work. It has been your deep and abiding commitment to LA students. You fought to improve the quality of their education. You've worked to connect them with better resources. And when COVID-19 arrived, I witnessed your leadership and that of your fellow trustees, the entire LACCD community, to shift safely and smoothly to a new kind of learning, to find work opportunities for folks when businesses were shut down. And that resilience and that commitment to learning and opportunity, it's the mission of your work and it's the meaning of your life. So we are so blessed that the voters of Los Angeles saw fit to continue to have you serve this district and this city of angels. You truly are an angel in this city of angels. So I hope that you will raise your right hand and allow me to have the honor of swearing you in. So, Madam President, hand up. I state your name.
I, Andra Hoffman,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance
That I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California.
to the Constitution of the United States and to the Constitution of the State of California.
That I take this obligation freely,
That I take this obligation freely,
enthusiastically.
enthusiastically,
I just added that, without
know.
any mental reservation
without any mental reservations
or purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion,
And that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Un abrazo, a hug. Congratulations, Trustee Hoffman, our board president.
Thank you, Mayor. All right, I'm going to now ask you to, before I say some remarks, to swear in my colleague, Trustee Mike Fong.
All right. Well, Mike Fong reminds me of Saddam Hussein. Now, Mike Fong isn't Saddam Hussein. They have very different values. They're very different people. But remember how Saddam Hussein was everywhere because there was like 8 of him in Iraq? We are all convinced for a long time that there are multiple Mike Fongs because he literally, you look up omnipresent in the dictionary and there he is. He's actually on other pages of the dictionary too. He literally is everywhere, working harder, connecting people, sending you a picture from something that's a great memory for you, shooting you an email, a text. He literally is the relational glue that holds this city together. And I'm so proud to be able to say a few things about him. He is an institution, a young but living legend in LA politics, a ubiquitous face with a smile and a laugh and a force for good in our communities. It's been such a great honor to serve alongside you in the city of LA, working to make our city more accessible, to connect neighborhoods with the resources that you need. And you do that every single day through your leadership in the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment, a perspective you then bring to your work here with the community college. You did that in your work at our EWDD department, looking at workforce and development around our city, working to connect our most vulnerable youth to jobs and help them work towards financial stability and start them on a path to a better future. And your advocacy for Los Angeles has only grown stronger in your capacity as a trustee on the LACCD board. And you've championed efforts to expand dual enrollment programs, to build new job training programs, to make the district more responsive to the needs of local community. I'm so proud to call you my friend, my colleague. I get the joy of being able to work with you during the day and supporting the work that you do on the board as well. And so with that, Mike, I have the opportunity to swear you into another term if you will raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, the one and only Mike Fong.
I, Mike Fong,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
That I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California.
to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California,
That I take this obligation freely,
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Felicidades, Trustee Fong. Way to go.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor Garcetti. We know that you've got to hop off for another engagement. I don't want to keep you any
I'm
longer.
going to listen to your speech. Don't worry. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, great. I got a text message that you were on a time constraint. Thank you. All right. Bear with me for one moment. And thank you so much for staying, Mayor Garcetti. I really want to thank you for saying yes to swearing me in today. You know, it's one thing to choose someone to administer the oath of office who you've known for a long time or have a personal connection with. But for me, this was especially meaningful to have you swear me in because we really only got to know each other through my role as a trustee on this board and more recently in the last 18 months as board president. So Mayor, you've been a great advocate and a supporter for all 9 of our colleges. And most importantly, you truly believe in and support the students that we serve. Because of you, we have LA's College Promise, which is free community college that started with our partnership with the mayor's office in 2017 with our first cohort. And you've continued to contribute and participate in the Promise program by providing laptops. You and I distributed laptops together at LACCD College and supporting those students. You also created Maya, the Mayor's Young Ambassadors program, and that provides College Promise students with free international experiences, travel to Egypt, Mexico, France, Vietnam, Japan, and hopefully we have more to come once we get a vaccine and we're able to travel again. You and I did a press conference recently during COVID for the LA College Promise Works program, which would provide our students with paid internships and work experience in areas where they're studying academically so that they don't have to work maybe at In-N-Out Burger, which was the example of the student who participated with us during the press conference. She was a fashion design student at LA Trade Tech, and she was trying to start a business making masks during the pandemic. And so giving her an opportunity to work with somebody in the industry is so valuable. And the fact that you've got people on the ground working with our students to place them in internships, paid internships throughout Los Angeles is just incredible. And these are just some of the examples of the partnerships that we've worked on together. And I'm so grateful that you were able to be here today to swear me in. It really means a lot. I want to thank my family who are here today, and I'm so honored to have them right here in the Zoom room with me. My daughter, Becca, my brother, Bruce Hoffman, and Mayor, I don't know if you remember, he sat next to you in his navy whites last time when you came to our oath of office ceremony. While you didn't swear me in, you were there and you participated, and my brother was honored to have the opportunity to sit next to you. My stepdad, Cliff Hudson, is here. He's been my stepdad for 48 years. Neither of my biological parents ever knew this side of my life. They never got to see me run for office. They certainly never saw me elected. Maybe they're looking down on me now. I don't know, but I'm so grateful to have you, Cliff, in my life, supporting me all along the way. And then my Aunt Enid, who at 70 years old in 115-degree weather in Woodland Hills was precinct walking with me, not this time around, but several years ago. So Enid, thank you for making the time to be here and to celebrate today. I also want to thank my board colleagues for their hard work and support during the last 5 years. And thank you to our student trustee, Elias Geronimo, for being here today as well. You're a wonderful student trustee, and I see you going far in your career. And thank you so much for serving on our board. So people always ask me, what does a board member do? Well, let me tell you, I made a list of some of the highlights and accomplishments over the last 5 years since I was elected in 2015. So during my first term of office, we hired a deputy chancellor. Actually, we hired an interim deputy chancellor, and we're making it official today on the board agenda. So congratulations, Dr. Melinda Nish. We've hired 3 vice chancellors, 7 college presidents, 2 chief facilities executives, 1 general counsel, a district foundation director, and that position has turned out to be so key and critical, especially during COVID, in supporting our most vulnerable students. 2 communications directors, a new director of the Personnel Commission. We appointed a brand new commissioner. We hired the Chancellor's Chief of Staff, a position that didn't really exist before. And I want to thank you, Ms. Veloz, for organizing this day so perfectly. It's a meaningful day for all of us, and we know you put in a lot of hard work. So thank you, Maria. We kicked off 2 College Promise programs, thanks to you, Mayor Eric Garcetti, and for launching the first one, LA's College Promise. And I want to acknowledge a special guest. I saw you pop into the room and you were already written into my speech, Assembly Member Miguel Santiago, who is a former LACCD board member, now with the State Assembly. And he was really the brains behind launching 2 years of College Promise. So thank you, Miguel. It's really special that you're here today. In 2016, we hosted presidential candidate Hillary Clinton on many of our campuses. And that included a DACA roundtable in a very intimate setting at Mission College. There were less than 50 people, and Mayor, I think you were there as well, with Ms. Clinton and our future Health and Human Services Secretary, Attorney General Javier Becerra. We passed a $3.3 billion bond. And in our building program, we completed the Monarch Athletic Center at LA Valley College, the Student Union at LA City College, the Arts, Media, and Performance Center at Mission College, the Physics and Earth Sciences Building at ELAC, and the Student Union at Harbor College, as well as the School of Science at Southwest College. And those are your bond dollars at work to benefit our students and our communities. We broke ground on several other large construction projects as well that are already in the works. And one of the first things I did when I got to this board was talk to the Chancellor, and we talk about this often, about making sure that we have Dream Resource Centers for our undocumented students. And I'm proud to say that we have Dream Resource Centers on all 9 campuses. We launched the first African American Outreach Initiative. We created the first Chancellor's Advisory Committee on Black and African American Student Affairs. And we also, as Trustee David Vela referenced, we started the LGBTQ Chancellor's Advisory Committee, and that was really his brainchild. And I'm so proud of the efforts he's put into that committee and the LGBTQ Student Bill of Rights. We also have the Asian American and Pacific Islander Affairs Committee, and we started a DACA task force. My colleague, Dr. Gabriel Buelna, chairs the DACA task force. We authored several resolutions to protect undocumented students, and we sued the federal government as well. We revised our administrative regulations around Title IX and sexual harassment, and we had all of our colleges, as well as the district office, successfully pass accreditation during the last 5 years. We managed to govern during devastating wildfires and mass shootings, like the one in San Bernardino, which took the life of one of our students at Harbor College. We navigated through Me Too, AB 705, guided pathways, and a new funding formula. We got a vision for success and responded to the statewide chancellor's call to action to root out racism in everything that we do. We gave away 40,000 laptops and hundreds of hotspots. We started food pantries and student housing partnerships. The term basic skills was replaced with basic needs. We elected or appointed 4 new trustees, gave out hundreds of thousands of dollars in student scholarships, and provided grocery gift cards to students who needed them. We transitioned nearly 10,000 courses online, learned about synchronous and asynchronous instruction, and we discovered Zoom. We can do everything on Zoom. We also saw a global pandemic and civil unrest and horrific atrocities in Armenia, all of which profoundly affected students, faculty, and staff. Early in the pandemic, we lost a beloved member of our IT operations to COVID-19. And one of our own students, Andreas Guadardo, was shot by LA County sheriffs, and our hearts were broken. We discovered the inequities in who has access to the internet, and we learned a new definition of what is an essential worker. As board president, I got to introduce President-elect Joe Biden at LA Trade Tech, and Mike Fong, as board president before me, got to introduce Vice President-elect, then presidential candidate Kamala Harris at LA Southwest College. The future brings hope. I look forward to the next 4 years of my term as one that will be focused on bringing students safely back on campus, working on the framework for racial equity and social justice, and doing an assessment of what safety and security looks like on our campuses as opposed to policing. So thank you, Chancellor Rodriguez. I hope that through our workforce development, apprenticeship, and job training programs, including nursing and other health sciences, firefighting, and EMT, along with early childhood education, STEM, and our excellent transfer programs, our students in our colleges will be able to play a more important role and a critical role in the economic recovery of this region. Like many of the students in the LA Community College District, I didn't have the typical college experience. And in fact, it took me 22 years to finally earn my bachelor's degree. That's a story I tell often. I was 41 years old. I take my responsibility as a governing board member for this community college district seriously. And I'm beyond grateful to everyone who supported me in my campaign for re-election. And I promise to work hard on behalf of the students that attend our 9 campuses. So thank you so much.
Board President, I neglected to also thank Trustee Gabriel Huelna, probably because, and don't be jealous, I texted with him the most. So thank you for your leadership too, Gabriel.
Thank you, Mayor Eric Garcetti, and thank you for sitting through my comments.
Beautiful speech, beautiful speech.
Thank you. I am now going to turn it over to my wonderful colleague, Trustee Mike Fong, who needs no introduction, you're right, Mayor, to make some comments as well.
Thank you so much, Madam President, and thank you so much, Mr. Mayor, for swearing me in. You've been a longtime friend, a longtime champion of our students in our community colleges. From our initial discussions on the concept of Los Angeles College Promise, when we were at the Breeze Street Shul for a Seder and talking about how we can make community college free in Los Angeles, you've been there. You stepped up with the Mayor's Fund, with all your resources, with everything in the community. And President Hoffman said it earlier, but with College Promise the first year, with the second year, with the recent announcement of LA College Promise Works, providing opportunities for internships and jobs for our students in College Promise, for the opportunities with the Mayor's Young Ambassadors Program, providing life-changing trips to students to have opportunities to visit Mexico, Japan, Vietnam, and France, and to your championing of higher LA youth. We did the press conference at Los Angeles City College a couple of years ago in the sweltering heat with President Mayor Gallagher, with yourself out there, and it was an amazing moment to highlight the thousands of jobs that you provide for our students each and every day. So thank you so much for swearing me in, for all your friendship, for all your leadership, and thank you for everything you do for our community college students throughout Los Angeles and throughout the country. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And fellow trustees, elected officials that are here today, Insurance Commissioner Lada, Assemblymember Santiago, and everyone who's in the audience, Chancellor Rodriguez, fellow trustees, administrators, faculty, staff, students, and to my family and friends that are joining us here today, good afternoon. Hope you're doing well and staying safe in these very challenging times. And thank you so much to the voters of the Los Angeles Community College District, the many dynamic, diverse communities representing the diversity that is Los Angeles, for your support and for your faith and trust in me to serve a second term on the Los Angeles Community College District Board of Trustees. And thank you so much to my mom. She's joining us here virtually in the Zoom room, and to my brother-in-law, to my sister, to my nephews, to my niece, to my cousins, uncle and aunt, and family. Thank you so much for all your love and support. To my dad and grandma, to everyone for all of your support in this journey. And thank you to everyone who's out there in Zoom land and everywhere else on YouTube for your support in this amazing journey. And to everyone who endorsed, supported, and volunteered on the campaign, thank you to each and every one of you. This is your victory. And as Trustee Vela said earlier, to AFT, American Federation of Teachers, 1521, to AFT 1521A, to SEIU 721, SEIU Local 99, to the Teamsters, to the LA County Federation of Labor, to the Democratic Party, and to everyone who donated $5, $1, or anything, or didn't even vote. Thank you for your support and for your friendship. We are here to serve, and this is your victory. Born and raised in the City of Angels, the Los Angeles Community College District has played an integral role in the lives of my family. My parents attended classes at Los Angeles City College. In fact, my parents met at Los Angeles City College. I wouldn't be here today if they hadn't met there. My mom and dad were the first in their families to attend college and higher education here in the United States. And the community college education they received at LACC provided them the foundation for their careers in the public sector. My mom devoted her entire career to the city's library system and worked at the Chinatown Library for over 40 years, providing opportunities for adults and children to learn and to thrive. My mom also served on the board of the Friends of the Chinatown Library, which provided scholarships to our adult learners and students attending our community colleges. And our mayor attended some of those dinners over the years. With Julie Wong, we would be at Empress Pavilion. And thank you so much to my mom for her leadership and for all her service and all her love. Thank you, Mom, for everything you've done for the city. And to my dad, who worked at the County USC Medical Center for over 35 years as a patient resource worker, helping patients navigate the bureaucracy. From my mom and from my dad and from all my family that's here on the Zoom, I learned the value and dignity of hard work and dedication. Thank you so much, Mom, Dad, Grandma, grandparents, and cousins and uncles and all the family members, my sister and brother-in-law, my nephews and niece for being here today, for all your support. I too attended classes at East Los Angeles College and LA City College before I went to UCLA. A quality education is the key and path to the middle class. And in the past few years, we've accomplished much together. You heard from Board President Hoffman and Trustee Vela earlier. We initiated College Promise, making community college free, tuition free for thousands of students in partnership with the mayor, with Assembly Member Miguel Santiago and the state of California, and with many foundations, including the Mayor's Fund. We've expanded career technical education programs and job training programs. And this is something that we're very keen on as we come out of this COVID crisis. We've expanded dual enrollment programs, allowing our high school students to take community college classes. We've co-located work source centers in partnership with the city and county on our campuses, providing universal access, job services, and wraparound case management, including on-the-job training opportunities and internships for our students. As Board President Hoffman referenced and Trustee Vela referenced, we've distributed over 30,000 laptops around the district for our students in these very challenging times, and there's very much more work to be done. We've opened Dream Resource Centers on all of our campuses. We've modernized and upgraded our facilities and constructed many new buildings, including the culinary building at LA Trade Technical College. We had the groundbreaking for the new satellite campus in Southgate. And at the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, thank you so much to our faculty, staff, and administrators who moved heaven and earth to go to a remote learning environment in the span of a couple of weeks. And to my colleagues and everyone who made that happen. In a year like no other, with the pandemic and marches for racial justice and social justice, we must continue to do more for our students. And there's still lots more work to be done together going forward. And thank you to our essential workers on the front lines, especially during these very challenging times in this COVID surge. And thank you to all of you for your leadership and efforts in embracing the hopes and aspirations of our students. For students such as Jackie, who is a College Promise student at Pierce College, pursuing her goals and dreams. For this city and region to reach its full potential, we need to ensure that all students have the opportunity to succeed and thrive and learn the skill sets for a better paying job and to get in the middle class and the entrepreneur spirit to be the innovators of tomorrow. COVID-19 has exacerbated the inequities in our educational systems. And as trustee with my colleagues during these challenging times, priorities will also include improving the quality and access to educational opportunities, continue to expand our workforce education programs, whether it's in cloud computing, biotech, advanced manufacturing, and especially as we come out of this COVID-induced recession, as students, residents, and everyone's looking to come back to upskill and to get a short-term certificate leading to a better paying job, or if they want to transfer to a four-year university, to expand dual enrollment programs, to expand initiatives and partnerships addressing basic needs, including Hoviness and LA Women Board that colleagues such as Trustee Vela, Board President Hoffman, and everyone here has championed. And to look at a statewide ethnic studies bill, AB 3310, that Assemblymember Almar Suchi has put forward and how we can champion those efforts. And with LACCD Jobs Connect, how we can make that happen. And implementing the racial justice and social justice framework and investing in expanding our diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, and continuing to increase access to resources bridging the digital divide. There's so much more work to be done, and I look forward to collaborating with my colleagues. A big congratulations to Trustees Hoffman, Vela, and Trustee Henderson for all of your leadership. And to everyone here, we continue to look forward to partnering and advocating and transforming our campuses for a more just, equitable district. Let's continue to fight the good fight and work hard each and every day in moving this district forward and embracing the hopes and aspirations of our over 250,000 students, such as my family and your family and friends, who are working hard to pursue their goals and aspirations. And thank you so much again for your friendship and support in this journey and opportunity to serve as your trustee. Keep up the great leadership. We're in this together. Stay safe, be well. Congratulations again to my colleagues. Lots more work to be done together, and have a wonderful and safe holiday season. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Trustee Fong. Thank you, Mayor Garcetti.
You bet. Thank you, guys. See you soon.
All right.
Congratulations. All right.
Congratulations, Trustee Fong. Congratulations, Trustee Vela. And now I'm really excited to see this newest trustee get sworn in. I think we're all like over the moon. So I would like to call up Council Member Henderson along with Trustee Henderson, and let's witness that oath of office.
Thank you, Madam President. Good afternoon, all. I am humbled and honored to be in a room with all these esteemed colleagues. I also want to give a shout out to Assemblymember Miguel Santiago. I appreciate his leadership, and our former treasurer, Lorenzo Ibarra, whose shoulders I stand on in the city of Gardena for all his leadership and what he's shown us what a good public steward really means. Before we get started and everything, before I give the oath of office to Trustee Nichelle Henderson, I want to say a few words of what I believe community college is. I think the role of a community college is to make better communities. And as a former student of Los Angeles Southwest College, I learned quite a bit of what it means as far as leadership and everything as a student athlete under Coach Washington, who showed me a lot, and he shared with me, if you just stick with it, you never know what could happen. So I'm honored as that kid from South Los Angeles to actually be swearing in a trustee of Los Angeles Community College District, who just so happens to be my wife. So that's really ironic. So I got to keep doing things great because the Lord keeps blessing me. So without further ado, and I know how these events go, and I know you guys have a lot of work. At this time, I would like to ask Trustee Henderson to raise her right hand as we go over the oath. I state your name.
I, Nichelle Henderson,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I would like to say a few more words in regards to where we are in society currently right now. As we all know, it's been mentioned before, and we don't want to take lightly the over 300,000 people that have perished due to COVID-19, and we want to keep their families in prayer. But at the same time, understand during a deadly pandemic that there were marches in the streets for equity, social justice, for not only African Americans, but all people of color. African Americans kind of just started the catalyst of this. For folks to risk their life and limb to protest for something that's so needed in our communities, in our society, as far as equity and inclusion. As a community leader and the other community leaders that support Nichelle Henderson, I believe she's the voice at the right time to speak to support all students in regards to inclusion and equity. I want to leave you all with something. I don't want to talk real long because I'm still laboring in my breathing, is that I want you to think about as you go about your daily lives, as you go about being trustees, think about those that are coming behind you. Think about a former student like myself, a former student like Trustee Fong's parents, a former student as my mother and stepmother and cousins, all products of the community college system that have all gone on to do great and wonderful things. I truly believe that the community college is a tool and a jewel that creates great communities. And we have to make sure that we keep holding high the name of LACCD. I think Nichelle will be a great collaborative partner in working with faculty, staff, and most importantly, students to make sure they are successful in achieving their goals. At this time, I want to thank Chancellor Rodriguez for his leadership in LACCD. As he and I spoke, heavy is the head that wears the crown. And we all know as leaders on this call that sometimes as a leader, you have to make tough decisions, but at the same time, you have to make sure that it's a win-win for all parties involved. Nichelle will be that voice and brings that spirit to the board of looking for win-wins to make sure everyone may not get all that they want, but we all definitely will get what we need in support of student success. We should never lose sight of that. And at this time, I'm going to introduce to some and reintroduce to others, Trustee Nichelle Henderson, the loveliest trustee that I know. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, husband. I am truly humbled by the trust that LA County voters have placed in me. Running for public office is more than a notion, and having a base of love and support is essential to not losing your mind in this process. I must thank the people in my life that loved me and understood when the campaign came first and supported me. My husband, Dr. Mark Henderson, thank you so much for swearing me in today. Our children, Markeisha, Nico, Mark Jr., Jared, my dad, who is a graduate of LA Trade Tech College, my brothers, Kelvin and Sheldon, my sisters in love, Jessica and Tamiko, my nephews, nieces, cousins, aunts, and my extended family, and my BFFs who keep me grounded. Shannon Thomas Allen, former Lenox School Board member, Compton City Councilwoman Michelle Chambers, Tracy Bivens Davis, and LACDP Vice Chair Pat Sanders. My campaign managers and fundraisers, Katharina Abrott and Katerina Ionides, and my treasurer, the incomparable Sean Ivory of Political Reporting Plus. I had a small but mighty team of women that believed in and uplifted me while upholding and holding me accountable for my success. And I must thank Trustees Hoffman, Fong, Vela, Veras, and Buelna. You put your personal and political reputations on the line to endorse my candidacy. Your support strengthened my confidence as a first-time candidate, as well as my clout. President Hoffman, you have been a prime example of how women should support one another. I look forward to working with each of you. Chancellor Rodriguez, thank you and your staff for the warm welcome and the assistance as I acclimate to my new role as a Los Angeles Community College Board member. Over the past 6 months, I have shared my goals of improving recruitment, persistence, and graduation rates of our Black and other underrepresented students to ensure that they meet their academic and workforce preparation goals. My goals of providing essential resources to our students struggling with housing and food insecurity, and the limitations of inadequate access to technology through wraparound social services and community partnerships. And finally, bringing the community back into the community colleges through consistent and transparent community engagement, the expansion of K-12 dual enrollment programs, and partnerships with our trades unions. And although my presence on this board would not automatically bring about the change that is needed in this district in addressing diversity, equity, and inclusion, my presence does provide a physical representation and voice for the Black students, faculty, and staff of this district, And I hope that my presence on this board will allow for more collegial and productive discussions that will promote positive long-term academic and economic outcomes for all LACCD students. In closing, I would be remiss if I did not express my extreme gratitude to my supporters. Former LACCD board members Miguel Santiago, Warren Furatani, Angela Reddock, Assemblywoman Gwen Moore, rest in peace, and past board president, Assemblywoman Sydney Comlager Dove, who not only paved the way, but walked beside me in this journey. I must also thank the state and federal representatives that came out early in support of my candidacy, including my very own Assembly member, Al Murasucci, the local city mayor, city council, and school board members, past and present, from the cities of Inglewood, Gardena, Hawthorne, Carson, San Fernando, Los Angeles, Montebello, and although not part of the LACCD, the city of Compton. And a very special thank you to my union, the California Faculty Association, SEIU 1983. The LA Community College Faculty and Staff Guilds, Solomon, Natalina, John, Joanne, and Ruby. IBEW Local 11, the Teamsters, Plumbers and Pipe Fitters, Chirla, my friends in the LA County Democratic Party, Chair Mark Gonzalez, Executive Director Drexel Hurd, Paul Sale, my credentials co-chair, the credentials team, and the Democratic clubs that endorse my campaign. And last on this list, but definitely never in my heart, is my sisters of Emerge California, La Pi, and the illustrious women of the greatest sorority in all the land, the devastating divas of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Thank you all so much. Now the work begins. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. Thank you again, Trustee Henderson. Congratulations, Trustee Vela. Congratulations, Trustee Fong. I really want to thank Insurance Commissioner Ricardo Lara, our Mayor Eric Garcetti, and Council Member Mark Henderson for being here today, as well as Assembly Member Miguel Santiago. This was really special and exciting. I want to thank our family members for participating. You're welcome to hang out. I would just ask that maybe you can be moved to, if you could do that, Crystal, so they don't have to feel like they're on camera 100% of the time. We're gonna get on to the second part of our agenda and continue on with our board meeting. You're welcome to stay. If you have nothing better to do this afternoon, we're gonna do the rotation of officers and then get into our board business. But I really want to thank everyone for being here and attending. Colleagues, you'll have an opportunity when we elect new officers to offer congratulations if you'd like to say a few words. But at this point, we're going to move on. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here for this very special oath of office ceremony. Okay. We are now on item F, which is the election of officers. So I am now going to declare nominations open for the position of board president. And I'm going to take chair's privilege, and I am going to nominate my colleague and vice president, Trustee Steve Vela, as board president.
Second.
And this does not need a second.
Oh.
It only, if there's anybody else that wants to nominate another trustee, do so at this time. Okay. So now we are going to take the vote. Roll call, please, Lupe. Oh, first of all, hold on. Trustee Vela, do you accept the nomination for president?
I do as soon as I unmute. Thank you.
Okay. Let's take the vote, please.
Student Trustee Geronimo's advisory vote.
Yes.
Trustee Buelna.
Yes.
Trustee Fong.
Yes.
Trustee Henderson.
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman.
Yes.
Trustee Moreno.
Yes.
Trustee Vela.
Yes.
Trustee Vela.
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes, thank you.
Congratulations, Trustee Veras. I don't know if you want to make comments now or after we rotate all the officers.
I'll save it for after as we rotate. And I know normally we would switch chairs here, but it doesn't work that well on the virtual scene. But thank you so much, Trustee Hoffman, and I'll save the comments towards the end of the officers here. So now I'd like to declare nominations open for the position of first vice president of the board, and I will also take the chair's prerogative and nominate second vice president Trustee Gabriel Buelna.
I accept.
Okay. Are there any other nominations for this position? Hearing none, seeing none, let's move forward to vote. Lupe.
Student Trustee Geronimo's advisory vote.
Yes.
Trustee Buelna.
Yes.
Trustee Fong.
Yes.
Trustee Henderson.
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman.
Yes.
Trustee Moreno.
Yes.
Trustee Vela.
Yes.
Trustee Veras.
Yes. Congratulations, first vice president Gabriel Buelna.
Thank you.
Next, per our board rules, we have to entertain a motion for the position of second vice president. So can I entertain that motion, and then after that we'll take nominations for that position.
I'll motion. Oh, that's Mr. Fong. Trustee Fong.
Motion by Trustee Fong and second by Vice President Buelna. Yes.
Yes.
Are there any objections to having a second vice president of the board of trustees? Seeing none, hearing none, we'll stand that as approved. And so I'd like to open up nominations for the second vice president of the board.
I would like to nominate David Vela for second vice president.
Trustee Vela, do you accept?
I accept. Thank you, Trustee Buelna.
Thank you. Any other nominations for second vice president? Seeing none, hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Lupe.
Student Trustee Geronimo's advisory vote.
Yes.
Trustee Buelna.
Yes.
Trustee Fong.
Yes.
Trustee Henderson.
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman.
Yes.
Trustee Moreno.
Yes.
Trustee Vela.
Yes.
Trustee Veras.
Yes. Congratulations, Trustee David Vela, second vice president of the board of trustees. Wonderful. Before we move on to the agenda, I know we had a special guest, some of our former colleagues, and of course our colleague and great champion advocate in the legislature. And I wanted to give him a few moments to speak to the board before moving forward with our agenda. So Assemblymember Santiago, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. President. It feels like deja vu. You were president not too long ago in a different space and time when we both shared the dais, and it kind of makes me want to say that the gang's all back, right? Everybody, all the good people who are continuing to do the good work, and I appreciate that. But I really wanted to give thanks to and congratulate former past chair, I guess I could say now, right? Madam Hoffman, who really led the district for some time during the most turbulent time and during the pandemic. And look, I can't say enough. There's a certificate of recognition that we prepared from the legislature surfing around somewhere on the Zoom call, but I'll read you what it says, and it's very brief. And it says, on behalf of the 53rd Assembly District, I'd like to congratulate you on your election, your past election to the president of the board of trustees, and to thank you for being such a champion of educational justice and all the hard work that you've put in, particularly during this pandemic. Look, I can't say enough. You know, I've got a bunch of talking points and a bunch of bios that people send me, but I wanted to talk from the heart and just talk about that woman who we all knew, who was chugging away for students at Glendale College, who has dedicated her entire life to the community college system, both statewide and local, and whose hundreds of stories we had heard from students whose lives have improved because you've touched them in one way or other through their educational path. I can't say that enough. I mean, the amount of investment that you've done as staff over at Glendale College, to the hard work that you've done, over 250,000 students that go through LACCD. I don't think we can thank you enough for your work, Ms. Hoffman. And to the new board, its new president, and everyone here, I just want to thank you for your hard work and dedication. And Mr. Chair, Mr. President, you've got a whole year ahead of you where you're going to have a huge impact, and we look forward to continuing to partner with you. So thank you very much, and keep on the good work, folks. Thank you.
Excellent. Well, thank you. No, we took, as you can tell by the slideshow here, we took Assemblymember Santiago a little ahead of schedule, but we do have a formal presentation ahead of time. I know he's got a busy day, but we wanted to make sure that he had a chance to say a few words before he left us to continue with his business. So, Assemblymember, thank you so much. Welcome, as always, back to the LACCD Board of Trustees. Very much appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Miguel, thank you so much. I know I
Thank you, Assemblyperson.
I thought I messed up after when I moved to this part of the agenda. I was like, crap, I should have called on Assemblymember.
Oh, you're good.
I'm going to say a few words. Thank you.
That's okay. We were trying to plan well. Before we move forward with approving the minutes in the agenda, I wanted to take time to allow the newly elected officers to say a few words. And let me kick this off by asking Second Vice President David Vela if he would take the mic here and say a few words.
No, thank you very much. And I really want to thank Trustee Buena for nominating me to really his position. And really, this is a time for us to show the voters and showing our stakeholders, our students, student trustee Jeronimo, that this is the beginning of a very positive time within the Board of Trustees. This is a time where we are respecting a rotation, which is what the right thing to do is in order to serve really the purpose of one thing, and that is to ensure that our students are our priority. And I am so excited to see that that's exactly what this leadership will entail. Trustee Vela, congratulations on your presidency. I have seen you as vice president really handle a lot of the tougher technical aspects of being a board member in the facilities division, as well as many other budget and so on and so forth. And I want to also really thank Trustee Gabriel Buena as second vice president, who really did a lot with this position. I'm glad that we did move to approve this position. It is critical to have leadership that we can all represent different stakeholders to ensure that you, President Vettis, are able to have the support and the bandwidth to communicate with the rest of the stakeholders. And I really want to thank also President Hoffman, and I can't say this enough, President Hoffman, you truly, truly are a leader, and you have given us hope in this district. You have taken this district somewhere where I think many, many people knew it could be. And I am only just more excited to continue to work with you for the next 4 years. And you'll always be my president emeritus. So I really, really appreciate all of your hard work. And thank you, Chancellor, as well, for your tenacity and continuing to support. I look forward to working with you to set the agendas, to work with the president, the vice president, as well as Trustee Student Jeronimo. I am very excited to be working with you too. Thank you all.
Thank you, Trustee Vela. Next, I'd like to ask First Vice President Trustee Walnut to make a few comments.
Thank you very much, President Vettis. Mayor Garcetti isn't here, but I'd like to thank him along with Commissioner Lara and Mark Henderson. I think having Trustee Fong, Vela, Hoffman back is exciting. It's also exciting to have Trustee Henderson. I think we've already had a few conversations, and I'm looking forward to there's a sense of camaraderie that's important to do this job. And I already, not that I get the sense, I know it's going to be very fulfilling, and it's going to be very productive. So welcome, Trustee Henderson. Trustee Hoffman, as a president, I have to give her credit for keeping sometimes a lot of us in order. We needed that, as sometimes, conversations are sometimes a little difficult, but she got us through a difficult time, probably one of the most difficult times in LACCD history, and one of the most difficult times in American history. She deserves a lot of credit for that. The next few years for our district, we're still in a period of transition as we get the vaccine, as we figure out all the new modalities of education. We're a system of higher education. That means that there is going to be a significant amount, or there has been, but just constantly thinking, acting, discerning, pushing us beyond our limits, and sometimes having those tough conversations because we owe it to our region, which is, again, Los Angeles, which we all love and care for. So the seven of us, along with our great leader, Chancellor Rodriguez, all the senior management, all the faculty, all the staff, everyone who keeps us going, we are an important engine that without us, not us as individuals, but what we represent would make the region would have a difficult time. So I just wanted to thank everyone, and I'm looking forward to the work we have ahead. This team will do well. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Trustee. I'm going to seek to keep my comments brief because there's been so many wonderful comments that all of you have made so far. So I'm obviously really excited to get going and be part of this new board. So it's really a fantastic space we're in. So let me start off by saying, first of all, congratulations to the elected and re-elected members of this board. You all did a tremendous job running campaigns. Many of you were balancing the work we were doing here on the board at the same time with the day job and doing this yeoman's effort of campaigning in the days of COVID, and certainly something that we won't forget. 2020, although it's been about 7-8 months, it really feels like 7-8 years for some of us dealing with what this condition has brought us. And so for all the positive and all the beautiful energy that we're witnessing on the call here and in the oath of offices, we're in challenging times. I think yesterday I took a quick note of our county in itself. I mean, 21,000 new cases, 131 deaths yesterday alone. And but there are some absolutely incredible rays of sunshine peeking through the clouds here to watch the first applications of vaccine, to see in an institution like ours, be able to have staff that's resilient, that's gritty, that's adaptable, be able to continue on operations, to go from a sub 20% remote learning, distance learning, virtual environment to a nearly 95% environment is tremendous, and it's incredible, and it's credit to our staff, our administration, our students, our employee groups. Just absolutely incredible that we could do that. We all know our students are principally students of color. They're from working class backgrounds. Many are immigrants or from immigrant families. Many are parents. I know Trustee Fong likes to say he's a product of LACCD. I was also in that same way, like his parents. Both my parents were ELAC and TRATEC adult students. So I was there as a young man, experiencing what it's like to be an adult student, trying to improve the lot of yourself and your family. So it's tremendous. But in spite of all that and all that effort, we know that we have a tremendous challenge in front of us. Our enrollment is challenged like many other community colleges throughout the country. Our persistence rates still lag and are not helped any bit by this challenge of COVID in front of us. But our budget's holding, the state's budget's holding. And so in those ways, we were able to make commitments to, racial equity and social justice. And are able to continue to take challenges on, like re-envisioning the safety of our of our campuses, and not be afraid to know that in front of us, we can actually see a great light at the end of this effort. Whereas we know spring and summer are probably continuing the same space, the opportunity to really now start talking about fall as an opportunity that we should begin the dialogue to see what it would take to get us to an environment that's in person, and to do it with being informed by science, being done in a state of collaboration and cooperation, being able to have the incredible working relationships and collegiality that's on this board all the way through our campus representatives and organizations and our students, and to know that if fall is not ready, that we make the decision together, and we make the decision based on sound principles, that it will be as soon as we can make it happen in a safe way. But those obviously are the challenges in front of us. Just to name a few, I'd like to say that this board is going to be going through a self-evaluation soon. I will do that very closely with President Hoffman through the past year. And we also have an opportunity to extend our planning efforts and set our goals for the years to come. And for one, I'm very excited with this group of individuals being able to engage in that process and to lay the future in front of us. And so that's extremely exciting. I wanted to acknowledge and recognize Trustee Hoffman and her role being a president in obviously very challenging times. I'm happy to note that our gender equity is still being worked on. It got a little better this period, and know that it always needs to continue to be improved. But at the same time, as we balance out this conversation and make sure that we can all demonstrate the leadership from the places that we come from that need to have voices on this board, that we do it with respect, and we do it with collegiality, and allow for that dignity of process and voice to be heard as a key and principal effort in what we do. So, Andrew, thank you so much for being dogged, being diligent, and at the same time really engaging with us and challenging us to be as collegial and as cooperative as possible in the face of substantial challenge. And so that's very exciting. Nichelle, welcome. I'm so excited to have you join us, and so excited to have you be part of this effort, and to know that all of you from David to Mike, this process of collegial rotation really begins with you, my brother, and that's so exciting to know that that this is the level of respect we have for each other, and that's critical and important. And so I'm excited to continue on that transition and tradition here, recent tradition, I should say, but it really takes a step forward in terms of how we want to work together and how we want to go from this point forward. So with that, I'll leave the sort of broader stuff after all of us get a chance to set our goals and objectives, because I think the voice of the president and the vice president and the second vice president are to reflect the position of the board. And very soon we will have our collective goals and visions reaffirmed and put together with our chancellor, and ready for everybody to see and feel and witness beginning in our next few meetings here. So with that, let's get to our agenda here. First order of business is to approve minutes. I'd like to direct everybody. Actually, we're going to do the first two pieces very quickly. Thank you, Crystal, for putting on screen. So if I can have a motion to approve minutes, we'll do regular board minutes on the 7th and the board minutes on October 7th and September 2nd. I have a motion by Trustee Vela and a second by Trustee Fong. If there is no objection to approving that, we'll do that by unanimous consent of the board. Seeing none, hearing none, deem them approved. We'll move forward to approval of the agenda and agenda order of business. I know, Chancellor, you had some changes to announce, modifications to announce. So can you make those changes now before we make that approval?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Vettis, and welcome as the board president. I'd like to reorder three items. Item T2, which is receipt of the 2019-20 annual fiscal audit. Item BB6, receipt of the program performance audit for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2020. And CC1, receipt of the 2019-20 general obligation bond financial audit be moved. They will now precede category P, combined consent calendar. All three of these items are receipts of audits that were prepared by KPMG, and KPMG will provide the Board of Trustees with a presentation summarizing their findings when that time comes on the agenda. So again, T2, BB6, CC1, Mr. President.
With those changes, so moved.
Okay, excellent. Are there any objections to approving this by consent? Seeing none, hearing none, it's been moved. Actually, I didn't get a second. A motion by Vela and a second by, we'll take a second by Hoffman. And again, I see no objections, so we'll deem that approved by the consent of the board. And if we can move forward to special recognitions. I know, Andrea, we gave you a little head start with the assembly member who really wanted to be here in person to be able to do that. But again, I'd like to obviously thank President Hoffman for 18 months of service. And I know we had a special workshop this past Saturday that laid out a number of goals and objectives, and you and your swearing in speech laid out a number of things over the past 5 years, but over the past year, certainly under your leadership was detailed and talked about in a really fantastic way. And there's lots of things done, lots of stuff in progress, and lots of things to come from that standing of your space here. So with that, I did want to acknowledge that there are other commemorations and recognitions that have been sent. We have some digitally, some are in the mail, trustees. So if they sort of show up beyond the ones that are here, you just had to bear with the technology piece. But obviously beyond Assembly Member Santiago, I did also wanted to note that you've received resolutions from our U.S. Senator Dianne Feinstein, Congressmember Adam Schiff, Supervisor Sheila Kuehl, and Los Angeles City Councilman Bob Blumenfield. And I know a couple of those are your own representatives, and they were very happy to acknowledge and recognize that. So with those things, I know, Crystal, if we can put them up on the board again, and I guess we can do a virtual congratulations clap for the trustee. So congratulations, trustee.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Trustee Veras. I know we're going to get on to a special presentation. That can I just go right into that? But
yes, absolutely. Let me hand it over to you, because this is something I know you've raised and acknowledged, and I think it's obviously very important, because not only are we electeds in ourselves, we also have a number of wonderful employees, including one who participated in the swearing in. But I wanted to pass this on to you so you can oversee this part of the program here.
Great, thank you. And before I get to that part of the program, I want to thank you as Vice President, working with me in the last 18 months. You know, it was very challenging, and you were there for me every step of the way, Steve, and I really appreciate your support. I appreciate you, advocating and helping me and guiding me when it got, some of those days were kind of dark, as you know. So I really appreciate your support, and I truly, truly appreciate your friendship. And thank you. I was completely surprised with the assembly member here and with the commendations and the certificates, and I'm just really honored, and it was just my pleasure and honor to serve as president for the last year and a half. And again, it was challenging, and I want to thank all of my colleagues for all of your support. Running for office is not for the faint of heart. It is really difficult to put yourself out there, and this round was especially difficult. If you think about, submitting your name to be a candidate, whether you're a first-time candidate or you're running for re-election, or you ran and didn't win, running during a global pandemic, raising money, getting the word out there, making sure people are aware of your platform, and really taking the risk is something we need to celebrate. And when I look at the LA Community College District, we are 10,000 employees strong. We are a force in the County of Los Angeles and all of the surrounding cities that are part of the county and the city of Los Angeles. So I wanted to kind of go through and recognize some of our employees who some of us know already serve in elected positions, but some people ran for the very first time. And so I'm going to go through, I'm going to read off the names of people who took the risk, put themselves out there, and got elected or didn't get elected, but are passionate about serving. I'm going to start with Manuel Acosta. Manuel is in chemistry and biomanufacturing. He is faculty at LA Trade Tech and serves as a city council member for the city of South El Monte. So thank you. Big round of applause. I'm also going to mention a good friend of mine, Dr. Armand Agakanyan. Armand is with the East Los Angeles College Foundation. He's also teaches from time to time. He was a faculty member, a part-time faculty member at Glendale College as well. And he was elected or re-elected to the Burbank School Board. Next is Colette Amin. Colette is a financial aid assistant at LA Trade Tech. And she is a member of the Los Angeles Department of Neighborhood Empowerment and also part of the nonprofit Alternative for a Greater Wilshire Neighborhood Council. And she has been elected to serve through 2021. So congratulations, Colette. The next one is Cecile Ben David, and I've known Cecile for many years. I actually have a very cute story about Cecile. I went to Grant High School, and when I was a high school student, Cecile was my typing teacher. So there's my Cecile Ben David story. Cecile has been teaching at Pierce College for many, many years. I know she also teaches at Cal State Northridge. And Cecile wears many hats. She's chair of the 45th Assembly District members. She co-chairs, that's a committee for the Democratic Party. She was elected to the Democratic Party State Executive Board, and she's been a delegate several times, but this past time she was a Biden delegate to the Democratic National Convention. So thank you, Cecile. And then we have Carmen Dones, and Carmen provided our Pledge of Allegiance today. And I'm so proud. I'm proud to know Carmen, number one. She does excellent work at West LA College. And it really is a feather in LACCD's cap that she was appointed by the governor to the Dental Hygiene Board. So congratulations, Carmen. And Barbara Dunchief. Barbara, what can I say? I'm very excited, not only that you're a trustee with North Orange County Community College District, but we got to vote and we elected Barbara Dunchief to serve with me on the CCCT board. That's a community college league trustee arm of the league. And Barbara just started her first term on the board, and she is a faculty member at East LA College. And then, of course, no stranger to all of us is Mark Henderson. Mark is a regional IT manager serving Mission Valley and Pierce colleges. When I first met you, Mark, I think you were just working at Pierce. And Mark is with the Gardena City Council. He is Mayor Pro Tem, and he had the pleasure of swearing in our newest board member and his lovely wife, Nichelle Henderson, today. And then we have Sharon Hendricks. Sharon is a good friend. She teaches at LA City College, and she is on the CalSTRS board, and she currently serves as vice chair. That's a big deal to be on the CalSTRS board, by the way. We have Michelle Kazadi with West LA College, and she is president of the Black Los Angeles Women's Lawyers Association of Los Angeles. Thank you for serving, Michelle. We have Dr. Marcia Wilson, and Marcia is with, she's a dean at LA Trade Technical College, and that's when I first met you, Marcia, in your role as dean, and I think I met you at a fundraiser in Alhambra several years ago, but big congratulations on your election to the Alhambra Unified School District Board. So thank you. And then we have Lorenzo Ibarra. Lorenzo was here as part of the swearing in ceremony. He's business and accounting faculty at West LA College and was the former treasurer for the city of Gardena, serving 17 years there. So congratulations, everyone. Thank you so much for stepping up and running for office. I would like to make sure that you get recognized every time that you are, in a meeting with us, no matter where we are. We need to be LACCD proud. And I can say that, although I work at Glendale College and I'm an elected here, I represent both ways. So whatever I do for Glendale, I make sure people know I'm a board member in LA. And as you all know, my work in LA, I always drag in Glendale College. So I think it's really important. And thank you so much for being here. I know this was a long time to sit through, but we really appreciate you. Congratulations, everyone.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Trustee Hoffman. And thank you to all those for your public service and obviously extending the LACCD family beyond the boundaries of LACCD. So thank you for all the work you all do. Next, we'll move forward with presentations on our agenda. Chancellor, I'd like to see if I can turn the floor over to you in regards to the ceremonial signing here for LACCD's Administrators Unit, represented by the California Teamsters Public and Professional and Medical Employees Union, Local 911. So Chancellor, can you kick us off here? And I believe we're gonna be inviting Matthew Jordan up to join us here. So Chancellor, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Vettis. Yes, I'm very proud. Today we have two ceremonial signings to present to the Board of Trustees with our Local 911 right now and our SEIU Locals 721. As our members are aware, and our LACCD audience is certainly aware, we have 6 employee bargaining groups, and we're very pleased to be able to reach conclusion with these two after several months of bargaining in good faith. And we're very proud of the conditions that has allowed us to come to this environment. I'm appreciative of all the leadership around the table to get to a place where we discuss salary and working conditions matters in a way that's respectful, in a way that represents the very best of LACCD. So we're very proud to present this opportunity to our Local 911, our Teamsters, and would ask President Matt Jordan, if he's in the room, to say a few words about this auspicious occasion with our sincere congratulations. Matt,
Thank
are
you.
There you are. Good to see you, Matt. Welcome.
Thank you, Chancellor Rodriguez. I'm happy to be here today to acknowledge the successful contract negotiation between the Administrators Unit represented by the Teamsters and the district. In consideration of the singular context that we find ourselves in, of a worldwide economic slump and global pandemic, I do believe that the contract that we arrived at achieves key improvements in the working conditions of our members. I'd like to thank the following people without whom this achievement would not have been possible. My co-lead negotiator, Dr. V. Lee, the Administrators Unit negotiating team, which was comprised of members from nearly all campuses and the ESC, our representative from the Teamsters, Christian Leva, the district negotiating team, especially Acting Vice Chancellor Mercedes Gutierrez, who throughout the process demonstrated reason and fairness. The Chancellor and the Board of Trustees, of course, we thank. And finally, I'd like to extend a heartfelt thank you to our entire Administrators Unit of over 100 deans. They've been working tirelessly, like all of the employee groups, to keep our doors open, and they ratified this contract by an overwhelming majority. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. And Matt serves as one of our excellent deans over at Los Angeles Valley College and served as the chief negotiator for this. So Matt, excellent work. Look forward to working with you throughout the years. And thank you very much to you and your team, and to all the deans who do an exceptional job keeping our students safe and supporting the work of our faculty and our classified professional staff, as well as our administrators. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate you being here. Mr. Chair, we'll move on now to the next item, which is the ceremonial signing for members of the Service Employees International Union, a Local 721. I'd like to see if Mr. Hicks can get on in the Zoom room. Are you here, Mr. Hicks?
Chancellor, his name is not listed in the attendee section.
Well, then simply let me add that we are recognizing our colleagues in local 721 SEIU for their excellent work in reaching an agreement with the LACCD. Again, they did so with a high degree of integrity, tremendous amount of support, integrity, and good faith work all the way through. So let me thank our colleagues at local 721 SEIU for working with us that has now led to a very, very good 3-year successor agreement that indeed puts forth appropriate salary, working conditions, and other appropriate amendments to this particular contract. So thank you all.
Chancellor?
Yes.
We do have Mercedes Gutierrez in the room, the chief negotiator.
Okay. Mercedes, would you like to say something about the process and your team that got to this successful conclusion? Dr. Gutierrez?
We are very honored to have worked with Local 721. They are trying to get onto the chat. Mr. Hicks is calling in via phone, and he reached out to me, letting me know that he's having a bit of a challenge. There's a 424 number that should be appearing that he has identified himself as Mr. Hicks.
President Venice, is this a good time to say something positive about both the recipients for trustees?
Sure. Let me do this. I think we do have Mr. Hicks here, so let's have him, and then we'll pass it to the board for comments. Okay. Mr. Hicks, are you there?
Okay,
Bruce?
thank you. Yeah, I'm here.
Welcome.
Thank you all. Thank you, Chancellor. Thank you, board. Thank you. I'd like to thank the board, especially the Chancellor, Dr. Gutierrez, for the negotiation process. It was ratified by our membership 100%. We feel that it's a fair and equitable contract, and I'd like to thank those at the table, the bargaining committee for SEIU 721, and reach out to all of our membership and just send them a happy holiday and love and blessing in this time of need. But thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hicks. Very much appreciated. Wanted to give an opportunity for colleagues. If anybody wanted to make a comment, please raise your hand here. And let's go ahead and start with Trustee Vela.
Well, thank you so much, President Vettis. And, I can't just say enough for just both of these organizations, Teamsters 9/11 and SEIU 721, for their hard work, really during a time where we all had to come together and, seeing the way that they, came and stepped up and became part of the district in a value-added way, and helped us create the solutions to be able to provide our students at a time of need, and set aside, what could have been something negative like COVID-19, and turn it into a positive, getting their support in legislation. As chair of the Public Affairs and Legislative Committee, I was really just happy to see them come in and support us when it came to advocating for state resources. And so I just really want to thank both organizations, and I'm looking forward and excited to working with them in the future. Thank you, President Levis.
Great, thank you. Trustee or Vice President Buona.
I want to thank both organizations. I mean, one, it's important to thank all of our partners that went through this process, but it's extremely important to have our partnership with everyone that works with us. So I just wanted to thank them and let them know that that we all appreciate them.
Trustee Fong.
Thank you, President Vettis. And just want to echo my colleagues' comments. Thank you so much to Mr. Hicks and to Mr. Jordan, to everyone at SEIU 721 and Teamsters Local 911. Thank you to all the members and staff for everything you do for our students each and every day, and especially during these very challenging times. Thank you guys so much.
Excellent. Trustee Hoffman.
Thank you. I had to figure out how to raise my hand. I'm usually the one looking for the hands. I was rushing here. First of all, I want to thank Matt and Bruce. The two of you are exemplary leaders, doing such a fabulous job with your membership. And I want to thank all the Teamsters and all the members of SEIU 721 for really rising to the occasion during these very difficult times. And I'm proud that we were able to. So I'm proud that I got to sign my name on the agreement as one of the last things I got to do as president. So thank you so much.
Excellent. Thank you for your comments. I don't see any other requests on the board, so I'll make my comments and then move on to the agenda. Again, thank you, Mr. Hicks and Mr. Jordan and Ms. Gutierrez from our staff and our administrative team and negotiating team that put this together. It's so wonderful to hear 100% approvals. Love that. Love hearing that. So that's some good work on all sides. We thank you for all the effort to get us to a common ground. And, we really appreciate your work at the Dean's level and certainly at 721's level in managing our operations and our activities. So thank you again so much, both of you, and to the members. Happy to be in good standing and have our contract renewed here with a wonderful vote here. So yes, Chancellor.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Before we move on to the next item, I simply wanted to also point out the outstanding work of Dr. Mercedes Gutierrez. As you know, beginning July 1st, we asked her to step up as a district lead negotiator as the interim Vice Chancellor for Human Resources. So she has been absolutely wonderful in that role, as well as attending to her other duties. So simply on behalf of the Board of Trustees, the college presidents, and our bargaining teams, Dr. Gutierrez, thank you so much for stepping up, and we recognize you for your outstanding leadership.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to reports from representatives of our employee organizations. Do any members of the resource table wish to be recognized to make comments before the board?
Yes. Joanne Waddell.
President Waddell, the floor is yours.
Thank you, President Veras, Chancellor, Trustees. It's Joanne Waddell from the Los Angeles College Faculty Guild, AFT 1521. Sort of keeping the celebratory vibe going here a little bit. I just want to say that there are times when our lives demand courage and rationality, stability, and civility if we're going to move forward. And I would say that these are those times. I have confidence that our current trustees, continuing, incumbent, and newly elected, have those characteristics, and that we will be able to work through with the seated trustees to make the tough decisions and accomplish our goals. That said, congratulations to the newly elected trustee, Michelle Henderson, re-elected trustees Hoffman, Fong, and Vela, and continuing trustees Buelna, Moreno, and Veras. Let's get to work.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from our resource table?
I have a few words to say, trustees. This is Suleiman Isaac, President, AFT 1521A, College Staff Guild. I would like to start with congratulating all the 4 newly sworn in trustees and welcome again Trustee Henderson to the family of LACCD. And just like my sister Waddell said, keeping on with the festivities of this meeting and the season, we just want to end this year on a good note that we have had a very successful year with the district and all the district's representatives in coming to agreements, MOUs, and ways and means by which we can keep our district functioning. So thank you all, and welcome again to the new trustees. We are going to see you next year after recharging our batteries to move forward with the full force. Thank you, and the staff guild thanks you for all your help and cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the resource table?
I'd like to make a couple of comments.
Sure, Mr. Jordan, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I'd like to join the chorus in congratulating our new board member and our newly re-elected board members. I, like many of you, am extremely happy to see the holiday break approaching, which will see the end of this tumultuous year. With the vaccine and new national leadership, I feel hopeful again. That said, I will mention 2 items that my unit members are watching closely. First is the issue of security throughout the district. This issue is particularly important to deans as we serve as administrators on duty in the evening and now during COVID throughout the day. So we are the people who get the call when problems arise. I note that the board recently extended the LA Sheriff's contract for 6 months. It's my understanding that this extension will allow time for careful consideration of the impacts of any changes and also allow time to issue an RFP. We would like to see a solution that maintains the safety and security of our students and employees, a solution that does not overly rely on policing, and a solution that adequately addresses our students' mental health and social service needs. Second, as was mentioned in a prior meeting, a draft policy on administrator retreat rights is in development. My unit members are watching this draft policy closely. The past practice within this district going back decades is that academic administrators have the unconditional right to retreat to a faculty position if not dismissed for cause. Any change to this practice amounts to more than just a broken promise to our existing members. It changes their working conditions. This policy is still evolving, and we will continue to do our part to contribute to a policy that meets the needs of our students and employees. I thank all of you for your work, and I wish everyone a happy holidays. Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. Any additional comments from the resource table?
Yes.
Ms. Ozan, welcome. The floor is yours.
Okay. Good afternoon, Board of Trustees and Chancellor. My name is Chrisanne Ozan. I represent SCA Local 99. And I would first like to congratulate former President Hoffman, Trustee Vela, and Fong for your reappointment as Board of Trustees. I would also like to congratulate our newly elected board member, Trustee Henderson. Welcome to LACCD. I would like to also congratulate you, Trustee Veras, or President Veras, and Vela, as board presidents and vice president. And we look forward to working with all of you. And I would like to say on behalf of our members, I would like to thank Trustee Hoffman, for your leadership and everything that you've done for our members. I want to personally thank you again for the awesome Women's Empowerment Conference that you put together for our members. Talking about that, they had a great time, and you've done for us and your support. And I would also like to thank this board for extending the sheriff's contract. Lastly, I would like to address to the board a grave concern our members have regarding their health and well-being during this COVID pandemic. Since our members were directed to return back to a full-time work schedule, the number of COVID cases, have drastically increased, globally, and it's, out of control. And since our members were directed to return back to a full-time work schedule, there has been an increase in the number of COVID-19 infections and quarantine cases throughout the district, with our own members. And this is a current concern for our members. Our members want to be protected and safe like anyone else. We believe that working a 50-50 rotational schedule is a safer approach for preventing, exposures and protecting our members from COVID. And our members are asking to return, back to a 50-50 rotational schedule. And we've also had other issues. I'm not going to list everything, but we just think that's safer.
Mr. Veras, I'm not sure if she's done or whether it's cut off.
Yeah, I believe.
Can you recognize Mr. Hicks, please?
Yes.
Can I?
Okay, let me do this.
Yeah,
Let me continue the 99. Yeah, the 99 conversation. We'll go over to Mr. Rangel, and then we'll jump over to Mr. Hicks.
Thank you, Board President. Good afternoon, LACCD family. My name is Manny Rangel. I'm the Public Affairs Manager for SEIU Local 99. I want to first echo Chris's comments, congratulating the incumbents for their successful re-election to the board, and congratulate Ms. Nichelle Henderson for her resounding victory for board seat number 5. Without a doubt, you are a valuable addition to the LACCD family. Throughout the history of this country, low-wage workers and people of color have been placed on the front lines. During the Vietnam War, the names Rodriguez and Johnson were the most common last names when it came to fatalities. We have scholars on the board and in the Zoom that can attest to this, and other moments in US history where people of color and low-wage workers have served on the front line. Here at LACCD, SEIU Local 99 workers, the group with the highest percentage of low-wage workers and people of color, are serving on the front line. SEIU Local 99 workers should be heard, they should be respected, and they should be recognized. 2 months ago, we signed a COVID-19 MOU with LACCD. On December 4th, we sent a request to the district requesting the reopening of that MOU due to the surge and the stay-at-home order by the state of California and both the county and the city of Los Angeles. We received an immediate response from Chancellor Rodriguez that we would be provided with meeting dates for the following week. On December 9th, we followed up with the district on our request since at that point we were not provided with meeting dates. And on December 11th, we were still not provided with meeting dates, but we were assured by Chancellor Rodriguez that the district will be providing us with meeting dates very soon. As of today, 2 weeks from our initial request, we have not received any dates from the district. In the meantime, the surge continues to get worse to the point where currently there are less than 100 ICU beds in the entire county of Los Angeles. On behalf of SEIU Local 99 workers, we demand and implore you to listen and respond to the request of essential workers in LACCD. Happy holidays to all of you, especially to the students and hardworking employees in LACCD. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rangel. Mr. Hicks.
Yeah, thank you. This is Bruce Hicks, SEIU 721 president. I want to congratulate the re-elected trustees and welcome the incoming Trustee Henderson to the fold. And I want to commend Trustee Hoffman for her hard work. She did a lot of work with our unit and of course with other units, but I want to commend her and thank her for her service and her continued service in the district. The biggest issue of concern that we had was addressed last week. Of course, we have the concerns, many of the same concerns that our sister organization, Local 99, is having. But I want to thank the Chancellor and the board for reimagining public safety within the Los Angeles Community College District, looking at how to safely protect the students, the faculty and staff, especially in this time of crisis, especially in the racial inequities, and just taking the brave point of view to go out and let's reimagine how policing, or not even policing, but security is going to be looked at in the district. So I just want to thank the board of trustees, the chancellors for taking that initiative. And I want to welcome President Veras and to say good luck to you in your role. But thank you, and happy holidays.
Thank you, Mr. Hicks. Next, I'd like to kick over to Academic Senate President, Mrs. Chevity. Angela, are you?
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Angela Echeverry. I'm a faculty member in microbiology at LA Mission College and also president of the District Academic Senate. So first of all, on behalf of the District Senate, I would like to congratulate our newly elected trustee, Nichelle Henderson, as well as our re-elected trustees, Andrew Hoffman, Mike Fong, and David Vela. It is a welcome change to see greater gender and ethnic diversity on the board. I would also like to extend my congratulations to the newly elected officers, so our new board president, Steve Veras, as well as vice presidents, Gabriel Wilna and David Vela. And finally, I would like to thank our former board president, Andrew Hoffman, for her leadership during the last really tough 18 months. So it was great to have her in that position. And we look forward to working with all of you and the Chancellor Rodriguez and his leadership team on behalf of our students during these unprecedented times. 2020 has been an exceptionally challenging year for students, faculty, and staff alike. And I can say firsthand that faculty have had to work harder than ever before to make that transition as smooth as possible to remote instruction. Since March, the DAS has worked with the distance education coordinators, professional development faculty, and the administration to support our faculty in the transition to online instruction. And we've had over 1,000 faculty trained and close to 1,000 certified to teach online in our district. We are hopeful that with the new COVID-19 vaccine, and hopefully more vaccines are coming down the pike, that over the next year or so, we will start to transition back into a more normal learning environment. One topic of ongoing discussion is the impact of learning loss and among our K through 12 students due to the pandemic. And distance learning, as we know, is particularly hard. It's hard for everyone, but it's particularly hard for children in low-income families, English learners, and those with disabilities. And we are concerned about the declines in enrollment that we're seeing, especially across the board, but especially in some of the colleges and some of the disciplines like math, English, and ESL. And while there are some bright spots, as in the STEM areas, it's really important to recognize that the post-COVID-19 reality is not the same that we lived in a year ago. And I hope that we will figure out how to reinvent ourselves and reevaluate our course offerings to make sure that we continue to serve the needs of our students and our communities to the best of our abilities. Finally, I would like to report that the DS met last week and we took action on a resolution to support the ongoing process to revise Title V to establish an ethnic studies graduation requirement and a general education requirement for the associate degree as the best trajectory in the interest of our students and to promote anti-racism. And I forwarded the resolution to Lupe, but unfortunately I did not get it in on time. But I just wanted to give that update. So thank you again. Happy holidays to all of you. And we really look forward to a better 2021. Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful news, and thank you for that update. We look forward to seeing the resolution there. Next, I obviously like to announce for the record that we've all received the Chancellor's monthly report, which includes specific reports from the college presidents. Is there anything, Chancellor, you or any of our presidents wish to comment on or highlight on here beyond the written report or for additional information? So, Chancellor or any of our presidents?
Mr. President, no, sir. I'll reserve my comments for the Chancellor's report, and I'll see if there are any presidents who'd like to say something.
Perfect. Any presidents interested? Hands raised or come on in. I see President Bettis in the chat here, so if we can pull him over to the panelist and open the floor for him. President
Perez
Bettis?
should be in now, yes.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So I'm on. I just want to congratulate the re-election of our incumbents. Great job. And as a president, longest serving president of LACCD of the 9, congratulations. We look forward to working with you more closely. And then Trustee Henderson, congratulations to you, and look forward to your good work and your wisdom and insight. And behalf of the presidents, I just wanted to give that congratulatory remark.
Excellent. Thank you, President Bettis. I think I also saw President Gallagher with a request. President?
I'm sorry, I apologize. There was a flag over where I had to unmute, so zoom in. I just wanted to let all of you know that I'm really happy to announce that our foundation gave a piano away to a student today. And our Associated Student Government is supporting the move and setup of this piano. 62 students applied, and 1 student was awarded based on an essay and a GPA. So it was very exciting to be able to do that. It was an antique piano that an alumna of ours donated for use for our students. So I just wanted to let you know, great work is happening.
Thank you. Any other presidents like to make a comment? Dr. Wan.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to see everyone, and congratulations again to everyone, and welcome Trustee Henderson. We're so happy to have you on the board. I just wanted to report two things. The first was we had a wonderful Thanksgiving fundraiser, and we were able to raise funds and donate 300 turkeys and $25 gift cards to our students. There's a wonderful video on our YouTube channel if you'd like to take a look. It's a short video, but it's a great video. And we also were able to raise funds as a college, and we actually exceeded our fundraising goal and were able to adopt 200 of our student families' children, and we gave away $25 gift cards to every child in their household so that they could have some presents for the holidays. So I just wanted to share, similar to City, we're doing some great work, and even in this online environment, we're very sensitive to our students' needs, and thank you to everyone for your continued support for Southwest. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other presidents wishing to make a comment? Okay, seeing none, let's move forward to the next item on the agenda. It's the public comment period. I do want to note that we have two public comment periods. One that's on agenda or request to adjust the board for regular agenda items, and later in the meeting, I think we're estimating at about 6:30 or so for public comments on items not on the agenda. So we'll go through the agenda item public comment period first. I want to read the disclosure here, and it's the First Amendment and the Brown Act guarantee a member of the public the right to criticize a public employee in their performance of his or her duties. However, speakers are encouraged to focus their comments on issues relevant to the conduct of the public's business rather than on private or unrelated matters. Are there any persons signed up to address the Board of Trustees regarding regular agenda items?
No, sir. Nobody signed up for agenda items.
Okay, excellent. Now I do want to acknowledge there are individuals who signed up for non-items, and we estimate that to be about 6:30 in our meeting today. So hang tight for those that are have other items they wish to express to us or other comments they wish to express to us. So next we'll move forward to reports from the board, reports from standing and special committees. I'd like to see if we can kick this off with Trustee Vela. If you could please summarize the proceedings of the Ledge and Public Affairs Committee meeting that you chaired on November 18th. Trustee Vela.
Thank you so much, President Vettis. Now it's going to take me a little bit of time to address you as our president. I apologize. But thank you so much for allowing me to report on really many important topics at the federal, state, and local level. So what we're looking at essentially is that there really has been a lot of activity in these levels of government. We're proud to really be part of so much that has occurred this year. We, working in coalition with other key stakeholders, we helped secure around $14.250 billion for Emergency Relief Act throughout the nation with our partners for community colleges, as well as basic needs, including a $5 million basic needs pilot program that was championed by Congressman Adam Schiff and strongly supported by us, by LACCD. And then we continue to strongly advocate for apprenticeship funding for partnerships with our delegation. And we helped secure about $175 million from the Department of Labor for apprenticeship funding. So that'll really help out, in particular, our great partnerships with the trades. And I want to thank again the trade for their partnership and signing the project labor agreement that you, President Vettis, championed. And then we continue to advocate for DACA students at the federal level. As you saw, we were able to succeed in having our DACA students receive funding as well. And then at the state level, many things occurring. Community College District with other organizations was able to really take advantage of an unexpected surplus in the state of California, which we are now leading the effort to draw down on these funds, as well as ensure that the Los Angeles Community College District deserves receive its fair share. And so we're really excited to work with our state legislature to do that, and with the governor as well. Obviously, we also secured the COVID-19 block grant. And then I spoke earlier about our efforts that we are going to support heavily infrastructure and dollars for our community college district to ensure that our students and faculty are connected to the internet as best as possible. So we have a long ways to go at the state level, but we're really excited about the future to come. And then I think the mayor and Trustee Fong pointed to our partnerships with Jobs Connect with the City of LA, which is a great partnership where our students will be able to be hired through the City of LA. And then I want to thank also Metro for considering a pilot program that will allow our students to have access to free transportation for the years to come. Again, these are just some of the things that we worked on, President Bettis, and we're really excited about the years to come. Thank you.
Thank you for that report. Trustee Fong, can you provide us a summary of the proceedings at the Institutional Effectiveness and Student Success Committee?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. President, and congratulations to you. And thank you for everything you're doing. And to the committee members, to Trustees Bona and Vela, thank you for a robust meeting of the ESS meeting. First off, we had a committee report on disaggregation of data in our district and looking at our demographic and student success data. And the purpose is to look at past board resolutions that we're looking at the disaggregation of the API communities and Latino communities. I know tomorrow we're having a summit tomorrow, and so that's going to be an opportunity to disaggregate the data more. So we had a really robust discussion on the importance of data disaggregation, and thank you so much to Vice Chancellor Corner and the team for all their work and efforts, and the Chancellor for their leadership and efforts on this. And thank you to Trustee Bona, especially for helping drive these efforts. Secondly, in terms of enrollment, we've heard, thank you to the District Academic Senate President, Angela Echeverry, for her comments as well on enrollment. I know everyone here is very keenly focused on enrollment. Overall, as a district, we are down 9% in headcount and down 13% in enrollment. But I know everyone's working hard and super hard to really push hard on winter enrollment and spring enrollment going forward. Enrollment figures have been improving 2 to 3% weekly. We know these are very challenging times, and I know that everyone out here is trying to promote our colleges, let folks know we're open, that we have resources available, and that we are here to serve. In addition, the colleges and district FTES projections are currently being reviewed and as part of the quarterly budget and enrollment meetings. And we're also providing the reports to the State Chancellor's office in the first period of FTS reports and looking at those numbers and projections, especially for the first quarter. And then lastly, we are going to have an update on the board policies as well. We had a report back on the transition of the Community College League of California Model Board policies and really providing an updated timeline on the administrative procedures going forward. So we're going to try to convene a separate meeting on that. And lastly, Pierce College provided a robust report back on the College Automotive Technology Program. Thank you so much to my colleagues for all their work and efforts on the College Auto Tech Program. It was a really great presentation. I was super excited by what's happening at Pierce on the Auto Tech Program. And thank you to the students who presented too as well. And lastly, thank you to President Emeritus Hoffman for her leadership and efforts over these past 18 months. It's been a very, very challenging time in our district, and she's led at the very highest levels. And to touch upon the work that has been done around food insecurity for our students and looking at always additional resources in the committee, food insecurity is something that then Board President Hoffman did convene a meeting with Congressman Schiff, and that led to a $150,000 donation from the Kroger Foundation. So those efforts at the highest levels of government with CCCT as well. And thank you, Board President Emeritus Hoffman, for your leadership. And thank you, President Veras, for your leadership as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Trustee Fong. Trustee Hoffman, can you give us a summary of the Budget and Finance Committee meeting?
Yes, thank you, President Veras. And thank you, Trustee Fong. That was very nice. Thank you so much for recognizing that work. And I couldn't do it without the support of all of you. So thank you. We had a special Budget and Finance Committee meeting to review the annual financial audit and the general obligation bond financial audit. I believe my colleagues and I, Trustee Buelna and Moreno and myself, are recommending approval today. And I know that we have KPMG here to present on those audits. So thank you. My report is short.
Okay, excellent. I know Trustee Bona had to step off for a moment. Is there somebody that can provide the DACA Immigration Task Force update for him? Chancellor?
Yes, I certainly can. I was happy to be in attendance at this particular meeting where we had important conversations. First and foremost, I wanted to point out that we had been meeting monthly since last June and quarterly before then with all the Dream Resource Center representatives. And we're very pleased that we continue to have a very, very professional and connected group of our Dream Resource Center advocates and representatives representing all of our colleges and community representatives as well. So that it gives us a monthly opportunity to talk about the issues of the day, policy considerations, what's happening legally and otherwise. But the focus of the conversation, and we had 35 members in attendance, was a federal update facilitated by our senior policy advisor from Holland and Knight, Leslie Polner. And we had one of her partners from HK come speak to us, Leon Fresco, who was an immigration attorney who helped to write the first comprehensive immigration reform bill that received bipartisan support in the Senate, and has been involved with immigration issues for a very long time. And Mr. Fresco served in the Obama administration as head of the U.S. Department of Justice dealing with immigration. So he has a lot of insight, continues to work with the incoming administration as they transition to formulate their policies. I would just simply put that he is hopeful that the new Biden administration will restore DACA as is, but he does have some concerns for the long-term future of DACA, and obviously for the obvious reasons. But he does expect Congress to in the future to identify immigration reform as a long-term solution that is both statutory and for people with temporary protective status. So we're hopeful that that will continue. As you know, our district has taken a very strong and vociferous point of view in writing and to through our Congress members for a pathway to citizenship for our students who are undocumented and for making DACA much more permanent. He's confident that the new administration also will lift travel bans that are currently in place. So overall, Mr. Vettis, a very good discussion that took place. We actually meet this Thursday, tomorrow, to continue our conversation, to support, lots of support for not just DACA, but for all of our undocumented students.
Excellent. Thank you, Chancellor, for that. Student Trustee Jeronimo, do you have a report to offer from the Student Affairs Committee?
Yes, thank you so much. I thought I was forgetting. You were forgetting it.
No, you come before me.
Yeah, all right. So first of all, I would like to congratulate all of the incumbents who won their elections. And thank you so much, Trustee Vela, for always listening to the students and for always willing to meet with me on Zoom or on a phone call. Thank you so much. And Ms. Hoffman, thank you so much for your incredible leadership as well. And now I wanna say congratulations to Trustee Henderson as well. The board looks more beautiful with you now. And this board has done an efficient job when it came to online transition. The job it is done by keeping students enrolled has to be acknowledged as well. From every corner, student success depends on how well the board is working toward them. Now, the physical aspect of the board is now looking favorable and worth of a community college that serves a diverse population of students and underrepresented communities. With you on the board, I personally, as a student, feel more represented as you inspire trust, confidence, faith that our communities will improve and will have a successful starting platform for every student, regardless of culture or their color of skin. Because each individual deserves that even platform, right, to success and to start a successful journey towards their goal. I see in you a person who will be in favor of funding our dreams and allocating money to departments and programs that have helped create those even platforms. Many of those programs, such as the DRC, Umoja, FYE, and etc., are key to our success. Therefore, it is always important to keep it in mind that without them, the student will encounter disadvantages and challenges that may kill their motivations. And I don't want to make it personal, but as a student myself, I have benefited. I was one of the first who got benefited by the LA College Promise I remember back in 2017 when I was going into college, I was graduating from high school. I read in La Opinión, the newspaper. I read about the LA College Promise, and it did inspire hope, in me. It was like, I can go to college and I can, I hope I can apply. I hope I can be one of those students who get benefited. And I was, I got benefited by that program. Thanks to that program, it set the stage equal, almost equal, because of course, also the AB 540 helped me a lot. When I went in, I didn't apply for AB 540 status. And I remember my bill was about $408,000. It was like, I was scared because I was like, no way, paying that amount, it was gonna be a struggle. But then when I applied for the AB 540 status, my account balance came down to only $600. What a relief. And then when the LA College program took care of those $600, I was way so thankful to everyone, and I'm still thankful to everyone for your great effort that you are doing towards the students. Remember that all of your effort are indeed making a change in someone's life, and I am a great example of that. So thank you so much. And now I wanna talk on behalf of the Student Affairs Committee. The Student Affairs Committee, as you know, meets regularly every second Friday of the month, as most of you already know, but we did not meet this past Friday due to have to study for finals and fill in our transfer applications. So last month, when we met in November, Friday the 13th, student leaders from Harvard College brought up an item about career and job fair. Student leaders are interested in hosting an event where employers could come, interview, and hire students on the spot, something like that. We will start more of that planning the first week of January. The students' main purpose is to help out others by helping them find a job during this pandemic. As you already know, we did not convene this past Friday, but I was able to attend the Sheriff's Oversight Committee on Friday. I want to thank ELAC student Leonardo Gonzalez for accepting the role of the student representative for that committee. I think that the committee should have more student representatives since we are 9 campuses and more than 200,000 students and only 1 student is represented. So we need more student input by having more students, and because student life is always impacted by campus security as well, and I will work on talking to more students about our involvement in these important committees, such as the Sheriff's Oversight Committee. Yeah, so thank you so much. That's it.
Thank you. I'm going to take a little chair's prerogative here because your words and your story were fantastic to hear. Just a little while ago, we had somebody swear in Trustee Vela, the insurance commissioner, Ricardo Lara, who actually was a staff member working on AB 540 as it became law under Marco Fireball. So it's an amazing connection. And of course, we had our former colleague and current Assembly member Miguel Santiago, who really was sort of the energy behind College Promise. So today in this meeting, we are connected to both AB 540 and the College Promise with the members who came and graced us with their words and being part of this day for us. So thank you for that. It was excellent and really motivational to hear your words, Elias. Thank you. I want to go really quickly through the facilities management agenda. We actually had 2 meetings, and partially because we had a number of deadlines that we were trying to come under. The first item that I'll highlight, and I won't do it too deeply because there'll be a presentation to the board, is the 2019-20 bond program performance audit. It was a really wonderful dialogue and lots of good marks for our program that will be highlighted by the KPMG team. So I'll leave it at that. The board also, or the committee also recommended for the board's approval a number of projects, and I'll line them off here. The East LA or the ELAC facilities maintenance and operations schematic design, the Los Angeles Pierce College Industrial Technology Building project schematic design, the Los Angeles Valley College Academic Building number 2 schematic design, and here, let me jump to my other agenda. This is where we had a couple of meetings here. We had a schematic design of the Design and Media Arts project at Los Angeles Trade Technical College, and the schematic design for the plant and facilities and shops replacement project at West LA College. So wonderful presentations provided to us. Obviously, our facilities team is full steam ahead and observing all COVID protocols, and have not only survived the last 7 months, but are thriving. And so thank you to Dr. Smith over there and the team of folks. But those are all projects that were recommended approval, will be in some part of our agenda in the near future. And all of they're wonderful drawings and pictures. Sometimes we don't get a chance to share on these kinds of reports, but they're all attached and associated, and from big projects to small projects, a lot of thoughtfulness, high degree of environmental friendliness associated, and very thoughtful design. So like I said, big projects and small projects, but nonetheless, our building program is steady and thriving here. So with that, thank you. And Chancellor, I know we had an important committee meeting, and I wanted to see if you would give us an update on the Chancellor's Advisory Committee on Black African American Student Affairs.
Yes, I'm very happy to, Mr. President. We met on December the 9th, and that really concluded our 4th meeting of the fall semester. It's a very ambitious and very important group for our district. I was very pleased that for the last couple of meetings, we've had Trustee Henderson join us and provide her insights and comments to the conversation. We're now to the point that we are funneling down through a committee structure that is structured by the AOI, and we're going to be forwarding some recommendations very shortly here on how we can improve student affairs and essentially the Black student experience at LACCD. The committees are broken out into policy and development, advocacy, marketing and communications, how we can get more students into LACCD, retain them and graduate them, how can we engage them in community and workforce partnerships, improve the impact of student support services, improve their awareness of HBCUs, and of course have them participate in some district-wide events. And we've had a fall Black student welcome that was well attended. We'll continue to provide other onboarding, welcoming activities for our students. Of course, conclude this year with a virtual graduation. So the committee has committed to meet once or twice beginning in January. So we're scheduling that now. So very shortly, I expect in Q1, we'll have some very tangible recommendations, such as the establishment of Umoja programs throughout each of our colleges. We're very close to doing that now, and then continued discussion and interest on strengthening, enhancing, developing Black studies at LACCD in conjunction with our larger ethnic studies conversation. So very good work that is going on with that committee. My appreciation to Dr. Nairi Berry, the AOI team, and all those who are supporting this effort. So end of my report, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's proceed now with resolutions. We have resolution number 1, district classified employee retirement. And I know we have a number of employees there. We want to congratulate them for the service. There's several 35 plus year members that are retiring soon. I know we will be having a number of retirements showing up on our agenda for the next few months here, especially with our CERT program that was announced. But wanted to introduce that resolution. If I can ask for a motion and a second to approve.
I'll move to approve. This is Trustee Hoffman.
Motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Trustee Hoffman, second by Trustee Fong. And I know we have a member that's absent, so we'll run through a roll call on this vote here. So, Lupe, can you run our roll call?
Trustee Wilna? Trustee Wilna? Absent. Trustee Fong?
Yes.
Trustee Henderson?
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman,
Yes.
Trustee Moreno,
Yes.
Trustee Vela,
Yes.
Trustee Vela.
Yes, the item passes. We'll move forward to item number 2, extension of personnel commissioner term. The agendas or the items in front of you may I have a motion to approve the item.
So moved. I'll move to approve the item.
A motion by Trustee Hoffman, seconded by Trustee Fong. Again, since we have an absent member, we'll do a roll call vote.
Can we just take a question before we do a roll call?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Happy to take it. Trustee?
Could you please
Your
explain?
question.
Yeah, President Veras, why we're doing an extension for the personnel commissioner? Just so
Actually, let me ask the Chancellor if he can respond to this, or I think maybe our General Counsel. So, Chancellor.
Yeah, General Counsel, please. Let me ask Mr. Prieto to respond to this, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Bettis. This is allowed under the Ed Code to provide this particular extension. It is my understanding that the Personnel Commission is still going through the process to make the selection for the new commissioner. So in order to facilitate that, this extension of Commissioner Jones has been requested.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted clarification. Thank you so much.
Okay, sounds good. Roll call vote, please.
Student Trustee Geronimo's advisory vote.
Yes.
Trustee Buelna, absent. Trustee Fong,
Yes.
Trustee Henderson,
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman,
Yes.
Trustee Moreno, Trustee Moreno, absent. Trustee Vela,
Yes.
Trustee Veras.
Yes, item passes. Next, we'll move to report from the Chancellor. Chancellor, you're on your presentation here.
Okay, thank you, sir. I will first let me extend my formal congratulations to the newly elected members of the Board of Trustees. What a grand ceremony we started off today's meeting with. It was such a joy to see you, your members of your family, and others who you respect, not just administer the oath of office, but really your language, your speeches, your themes that you hit on were incredibly refreshing, remarkable, inspiring, and we look forward to working with all of you. I especially wanted to thank and recognize the newly elected board members as well. It's going to be a fun year, productive year. Let's get to work, as I think Ms. Hoffman mentioned, or someone mentioned in their speech. Looking forward to that, Mr. Veras, Dr. Buelna, Mr. Vela, as the members of the executive board. As you know, the Chancellor and the board president has a very special ongoing relationship to make sure that the order of the business of the district moves forward. So look forward with our executive board leadership as we move forward. And lastly, let me thank Trustee Hoffman. Been such a great partner, thought leader, person always available to me and to other members of our executive team whenever we needed you. So glad that you were showered with accolades today that you richly deserve. And I know you wanted that plaque with the gavel. I know you did. That was the one thing, and we got it for you. It's beautiful. And it's really a symbol of your leadership of the board during the last 18 months. So let's get to work. And Trustee Henderson, welcome. As I read your profile, I saw something that told me you are a teacher of teachers. So that bodes very well for us here on the board and for our engagement with student learning and teaching as we move forward. So again, congratulations to everyone. And the student trustee, Geronimo, thank you. For sharing your story, for having the audacity and trust and willingness to tell your story. I think it's so inspiring to not just us who work in this field, who've dedicated our professional lives to this craft that we call education, but to your personal testimony, your personal narrative of access to higher education at this point in your life. And thank you for doing that and for instilling in us why we do what we do and continuing to do that. So with that, Mr. President, Mr. Veras, let me just highlight a few things related to COVID-19. I won't repeat the things that have been mentioned already, but we do remain in tier 1 with, or what they call the purple level, with quite a bit of few restrictions that we're all aware of by now. But there is some hopefulness with the vaccines arriving in Los Angeles And as it cascades through the first responders and the very brave workers, and ultimately to educators, we will give we're planning for some level, and we're optimistically hopeful that we'll get to some sense of reintegration, if you will, and going back to our on-campus instruction as soon as we think as fall of 2021. If indeed if the public health official, the health officials, public safety protocols allow it to be so. We do have return to campus plans that we continue to refine, so we are ready when indeed we are capable, and can safely do so. My thanks to the college presidents who are running their incident command centers at their schools and colleges, to our EOC team, which is now entering this December the 19th. We have completed 9 months of emergency operations and entering our 10th month. So congratulations to all that. The health department does have a vaccine advisory group that it is working with, and I'm happy to share that we do have a member of LACCD. We are at the table. Mr. Boyer, our communications director, is at the table discussing and will be involved with the distribution and plans for the vaccine. They do expect to have some recommendations on policy about the 3rd week of January. So that's a little bit about the EOC and the COVID, but we'll continue to provide monthly updates. Our website has all our safety protocols. Moving to 2 really good announcements. The Board of Trustees is aware of this, but for our members of the public who are not aware, I'm very, very pleased to share that the Foundation for California Community Colleges has awarded LACCD $1 million as part of its efforts called the Cares for Food Security Program. This grant allows us to work with the fabulous award-winning, nationally recognized Family Resource Center at LA Valley College, in which we will be providing direct support to student parents via grocery gift cards valued at $100 each. And we're going to work with our partners who have already invested in us. And Mr. Vela mentioned this earlier, Rouse and Food for Less. So we will work with them. We thank Keith Mills, the executive director, president of the Foundation for California Community Colleges, for their faith and trust and for the $1 million grant. Fantastic news. Congratulations to Michael Fuller and his team for securing this. Secondly, I also want to recognize that at LA Trade Technical College, they were blessed to receive a $1 million grant just a few weeks ago from the Bank of America. Bank of America, this is part of their $25 million jobs initiative. There were 21 colleges that were selected to receive such a grant that will allow for the upskilling specifically of Black, Latino, and underserved students at LACCD. So we will absolutely put that to good use. Congratulations to Dr. Katrina Vanderwood and her team for putting together a fabulous proposal, a needs statement that was compelling. And my special thanks to Bank of America President and community colleague Raul Anaya for having the trust, confidence to instill those resources into us. So that's very, very good news related to the foundation front. Attached to my board monthly report this month, I'll alert members of the community, members of the public. We've attached a very comprehensive board goals document that was been referred to by Mr. Vettis and others. This past Saturday, we had an opportunity in the public session to go over the board's 2020 accomplishments for the year. They are quite substantial given the environment that we are in, but even in a non-COVID environment, they would still equally be as impactful. Ms. Hoffman, in her beautiful speech, relayed some of the work that's been done, and in the board reports given by all of our trustees, you could see the impact, the collective impact of the work that we are doing. So I would call your attention to that. Chancellor's reports usually 10 to 12 pages. They're all there every single month, but this adds another 100 pages that outlines the board's goals and a lot of supplemental complementary information to those particular board goals. Very aggressive set of goals, if I might add, under the umbrella of ensuring district sustainability, addressing student basic needs, creating greater equity and inclusion, and of course, adding the fourth strategic priority, the COVID-19 response, EOC, racial equity, and social justice. So I would commend that to your reading, and so you can see what's going on at LACCD. My thanks again, college presidents, leadership, all of our constituency, employee groups that are helping us really do quite a bit of productive, impactful work towards the success of our students. It was mentioned earlier in one of the presentations that the work of this past Saturday also included the Board of Trustees awarding and extending a 6-year contract to the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department until June 30th of 2021. And what
Chancellor, I wanted to, you said 6 years, so let me say 6 months.
6 months.
Yes.
Pardon me, strike that, a 6-month contract through June 30th of 2021. During that 6 months, we will engage in a comprehensive campus safety and security needs assessment for the district, in which we will have significant constituency and stakeholder engagement, in which we will find out the needs of our district constituencies and appropriate ways to address them. That will be codified in a request for proposals, an RFP. So we hope that that will be concluded very shortly, if not by June 30th, very shortly thereafter. But we're not rushing this. This will be comprehensive. This will be thorough, and it will be inclusive. So I wanted to mention that. And as I conclude my report, I simply want to mention 2 other things. One is that as relates to communicating with our public, we're launching an LACCD advocacy brief called Education Matters that was released this week. It's a quarterly publication where we will share with our publics the ways in which we are utilizing their public investment in us through legislative and budgetary advocacy. So I wanted to thank Maria Veloz and her team for putting this together. It's an excellent brief. It will be done quarterly and will really demonstrate, again, the imprint, the reach, the influence, and ultimately the impact of LACCD upon its very, very important and beautiful constituency. So I call that to your attention. The brief is called Education Matters. And lastly, Mr. President, I'd like to call in Dr. Otto Lee. If Dr. Otto Lee could be featured in the room here, I wanted to, and then if Lupe, Crystal, you can pull up the very, very nice, beautiful, what we call certificate of appreciation. Dr. Lee, this is our way of showing a tremendous respect for you, for the work that you have done at LACCD. As we're all aware, Dr. Lee will be retiring from LACCD in just a few short weeks at the end of December. And we could not let this occasion pass without recognizing Dr. Lee, you, a partner, for your steadfast leadership of LA Harbor College since 2014. You were amongst the first presidents that I hired when I first got here. Your reputation preceded you. I saw your work in the San Diego Community College District, and so there was an opportunity to have you join this team, this LACCD family, to lead Harbor. I knew that with the full support of the board, that we brought you on board, and you have done some amazing things at Harbor College, providing a visionary, steadfast, just excellent leadership to the South Bay and to Harbor College. And if you want to see a smile that would just light up a room, look at our Chancellor's report when Dr. Lee was holding the Culinary Cup, the inaugural Culinary Cup with his team. You will see him absolutely light up like he's doing now. And I simply wanted to point that out. So in recognition, Dr. Lee, Otto, friend, partner, colleague, confidant of your leadership, we want to celebrate you. We want to highlight you with this certificate of appreciation signed by Mr. Vettis and myself as a demonstration of your outstanding leadership at LA Harbor College from 2014 through 2020. So Otto, congratulations to you. Best wishes for an absolute wonderful retirement that lies ahead for you. I know that you will spend much more time with your wife, who's a frontline worker, and you will have many great chapters ahead of you. So Otto, I would certainly would welcome you to say a few words, but congratulations.
Thank you so much, Chancellor Rodriguez. I really appreciate those kind words. But first of all, I'm so appreciative of being part of this wonderful celebration today. Congratulations, President Veras and all of the trustees who are board officers. Welcome, Trustee Henderson. But I also want to add my thanks to you, Trustee Hoffman. Your leadership over the past term as the president during these tremendous challenges have uplifted so many of us at the college and our students. You brought a sense of civility, of focus, and as we know, with your background, you always kept us grounded. And I appreciate your leadership and Chancellor yours, as well as the entire board, and certainly Student Trustee Geronimo, as you said, you kind of kept us on the ball and said, what do our students need to maintain their pathway? And we've seen that certainly at Harbor College. So I want to extend my deepest gratitude for that. I think just briefly, I stand among giants here. I am so humbled by all the accomplishments that district has done. And in a sense, it was wonderful to see Assembly Member Santiago, President Veras, and Trustee Moreno. You were on the board when you gave me that opportunity back in 2014, and it is certainly turned into the highlight of my career. So I'm forever thankful for that. I think I'll have to say, back then, I didn't know that much about the district, looking from elsewhere in the state. It was kind of this mystical, big giant, can do everything type of entity. And certainly, during these 6.5 years, I have experienced, what a trendsetter, what creativity, what commitment there is in this district. I'll have to share with you that, when I came on board, I thought, well, how can I draw some parallels? And I drew parallels with the LA Lakers as a longtime basketball fan. And, people say, it doesn't matter what happens with the Lakers. Everybody wants to be a Laker. It's the organization. It's what it represents. And truly, we have come through as champions, thanks to you, the board, thanks to the Chancellor, thanks to my colleagues on the executive team, and all of various constituencies. I think it's fitting that the Lakers won their championship, and I know we've done tremendous leadership and championship caliber work especially during these 9 months, but during these 6.5 years here. And I know that under this group of leaders, LACCD will continue to set the pace that the rest of the state always asks, what's LA doing? How are they dealing with this challenge? So at the state level and at the national level, we have a special place of leadership. And I want to thank you. And I thank you to, my team and all of the students at Harbor College. This is much appreciated, and happy holidays. Thank you again.
Thank you, President Lee. Chancellor, I wanted to give a chance for my colleagues here to make a few comments. I already see one hand up, so we'll start with Trustee Fong, and if there's others that wish to, if you can raise your hand in the participants box. So Trustee Fong.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. And President Lee, I'm going to miss you. It's been great working with you these past 5.5 years. And what the Chancellor said, and everyone has said, you have such an amazing smile, but you also did such amazing work for the Harbor College and for the district. Whether it's your efforts around the Global Trade Logistics Program in partnership with the Port of Los Angeles when we made that announcement, whether it's your work with the Chancellor's API Advisory Committee, whether it's the work on modernizing and upgrading a lot of our facilities and partners with everyone on the campus, the culinary building, as the Chancellor referenced to, the culinary cup, student union building. There's been a lot of amazing infrastructure placed into Harbor College, but your work with the students at the end of the day made it happen. And with the foundation and the faculty and staff and administration of Harbor College, thank you so much, President Lee, for your amazing leadership. I'm going to miss our conversations, and I wish you well in your journey and your endeavors, and please feel free to reach out whatever we can help out with. And thank you so much, President Lee, and thank you, Mr. President, for the opportunity.
Thank you. Trustee Hoffman.
Thank you. Thank you, President Lee, for your service. You were the first president to reach out to me when I was first elected. We got to know each other. I appreciate everything that you've done for me and everything that you do for our students. Harbor College is such a nice little gem. I didn't know much about Harbor College until I got elected to the board. So thank you so much for everything that you've done. And thank you for your kind words this evening as well. Enjoy retirement. Like, how exciting. I'm jealous, actually. Yeah, we really appreciate your service, and it was just so nice getting to know you, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Trustee Vela.
Thank you, Dr. Lee. Same as President or former President Hoffman, I was one of the first people when I got appointed to speak to you. And I really, first of all, want to commend you for how you took the community and partnership, in particular, LAUSD having one of their top rated high schools on your campus. And, you were there when our build program actually went through with the new facility. I was, very lucky to have met you during that time. And then really focusing and, at the end of the day, squeaky wheel gets the grease. And you were there advocating for Harbor College. It's always been very, close to my heart in particular, because I know of the geographic challenges of Harbor College in the vast LACCD, geographic area we cover. And it really felt that you were just steps away, that you were, always accessible. I really did see the culinary building flourish, the program. I think I went 2 times or 3 times to eat at your culinary. Was it 3? I can imagine. Yeah. For some reason, I always kept going back. And the food was fantastic. I mean, that alone. But I can't deny that your students also, just dynamic students, your faculty, the community there. I was so lucky to have presided over last year's graduation there at Harbor College. And, it's always very, very a pleasure to have gone to Harbor and visit, and a pleasure to talk to you. And you weren't shy about letting me know what was going on there and what things we needed to improve on. And I feel that the communication is critical when you're a college president. And you did it in a way where you didn't, make the trustees feel perhaps that we were being cornered. You made us feel more comfortable and spoke to us in ways that, hey, this is what's going on, and really appreciate that, and really appreciate just your professionalism. And I'm jealous as well as Trustee Hoffman is about you retiring. Although hopefully that's a long time away from me. But anyway, thank you so much, Dr. Lee. Really appreciate your hard work and how you were with our students. I saw that, and I really appreciate that.
Wonderful. Thank you. Student Trustee Jeronimo.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Lee, for your service to the students at Harbor College, and enjoy your retirement.
Excellent. I'll do my comments, and President Lee, I still vividly remember your interview. I don't know if it was the sort of rocket scientist or rocket engineer that stood out from your undergraduate degree, or the conversation that it was an incredible interview. It was just all full speed ahead. And I said, what do you expect from a rocket scientist here, or an engineer? I forget exactly what it was, but pretty close. But no, look, thank you for your time, your work, your public service, your professionalism on the campus, for always having an open door, a welcoming approach. I know every once in a while, even if I was down there for something not related to the campus, there was always a phone call from your office about checking in. And you were famous for offering culinary arts as an opportunity to say hello and connect. And so, but all the other activities on the campus, it's better for you having been there. I always look forward to the kind of vision that is going to help center the campus and refocus it from facilities to the programs that are offered. The nursing program is one that is just outstanding, and always love to highlight one of the top performing in the state, and that comes under your leadership. So thank you for that, and obviously all the ditto to all the comments my colleagues just made. But really tremendously appreciate your service, and your influence here will not be forgotten. So thank you, President Lee.
Thank you all for those kind words, and I will certainly treasure my memories of LACCD. Thank you so much.
So Dr. Lee, just 4 words. Goodbye tension, hello pension.
Yeah, and Trustee President Veras, I might go back to doing some engineering work. Yeah,
all right.
I'm so impressed. Your memory is like a steel trap. Thank you.
All right, excellent.
Thank you so much. Congratulations to Dr. Lee on behalf of all of us. Thank you for your kind words, members of the board, for sharing those. All richly deserved. Dr. Lee, we'll talk more, but we wanted to recognize you in this moment formally, and congratulations again. So with that, Mr. President, can we move to the next, the last part of the recognition? This is also a special time for us. This is where we, as the district is aware, we're offering a supplemental retirement program, a SERP. We have several members of our college community who will be vacating us on December the 31st, and another group of folks on June 30th of 2021. So with your permission, we'd like to at least recognize these individuals by name, thank them for their service, and move forward. So if we could begin the names, please. And here are the names of the individuals who will be leaving us on December the 31st. Thank you for dedicated service and leadership. Johnny Aquabua, Isabelita Alejandro, Deborah Aurea, Keith Barnett, Yusia Benzian, Carol Bishop, Vera Brotsagya, John Budinger, Christopher Burmaster, Renata Buscaglia, Doma Butler, Kit Jan Chan, and Teresa Chavez. So we congratulate all of you who are leaving us this December 31st. Well wishes in your next chapter. We thought we would take this moment to recognize you. If we had an opportunity to be together, we would do it like we did in the last several years ago through a more formal reception, but this is what our current circumstances dictate. And there are more. Orlin Clark, Ralph Dieter, Prima Dissimulacion, Mary Dolan, Jack Epling, Jim Fenwick, Gary Gonzalez, Joanne Hant, Robert Hart, Ronald Haynes Sr., Anil Jain, Katie Kelly, and Marguerite Kasishan. So congratulations. Oh, there's more. Janice Elaine Lee, Otto Lee, we mentioned, Andrea Lim, Teresita Magdalindan, Marian Messina, Haiti Mobley, Joaquin James Morera, Roman Nandlal, Martha Alicia Perez, Lynn Polasek, Karen Kichao, Billy Reed, Martin Rodriguez, Bruce Roski, David Sheamus, John Sproul, James Swain, Anthony Silvers, Emiliano Tello, Portello, Dave Thomas, Bruce Thompson, Alexis Tucker, William Valencia, James Watson, Kevin Windsor, Roger William Wolf, Nancy Wong, and Phyllis Yasuda. My apologies if I did not pronounce your name correctly, but nonetheless, our congratulations on behalf of the Board of Trustees and all of your colleagues at LACCD. So that concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, and congratulations again, and thank you for all that wonderful service. You will be missed in the organization here. As noted by the Chancellor when we approved our agenda, we have a few items that we're going to take up related to audits. We have the annual fiscal audit, the program performance audit, and the general obligation bond and financial audit. So I'd like to invite the representatives from KPMG to come forward and to walk us through and do this presentation for the board. So is this Erica or who else? Chancellor, can you help direct me to who is going to be doing that? I always look at our screen of windows here and trying to find the names I'm familiar with quickly. So can you walk me through who's doing, let's see, we'll start with the annual fiscal audit. So it's item T2. And this is for the board's receipt, but I know we wanted to highlight and have a few top level presentations here. So
Yes, sir. Thank you. Let's start with Mr. Chris Ray, and then Brianne Weiss of KPMG, who will lead us in this presentation. Chris, Brianne, welcome. And the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chancellor. Thank you, trustees. We appreciate the opportunity to be able to present to you today. We greatly value the relationship and obviously the work that you're doing, and so are happy to be part of that team. So with that, in the interest of time, I'll let Brianne run through the presentation, and then we'll go to Erica after that.
Thank you so much. I believe everybody can see the screen. I'm going to run through both the scope, our areas of emphasis, the results of our audit of the financial statement and the statement of bond expenditures. The financial statement scope was, of course, to provide an audit of the financial statements of the district for the years ended June 30, 2020 and 2019, in accordance with generally accepted auditing standards. And the scope of the bond expenditures audit was to perform an audit of the statement of bond expenditures for Props A, AA, Measures J, and Measures CCs for the year ended June 30, 2020. We performed both of those. And throughout the audit are key areas of emphasis, which I have noted here. For the financial statement audit, that was really the cash and cash equivalent investments, which is primarily the investments held at the county. The capital assets of the districts, primarily the recognition of those and the depreciation of those. The revenue recognition policies, the debt of the district, primarily through confirmations, the pension and the other post-employment benefit obligations with CalPERS and CalSTRS. For the statement of bond expenditures, our areas of emphasis were proper accounting and disclosure of the expenditures in accordance with the bond proceeds and US GAAP, ensuring that those expenditures were on the approved project list and that they were expended in accordance with the cost principles of the bond measures. The audit results disclose no instances of significant deficiencies in internal audit or material weaknesses in internal audits. Both audits received an unmodified opinion, which, if we recall from back in the day, that's the same as the unqualified and is essentially a clean audit opinion. So I'm very happy to report that today, and I'm also thrilled to report that there were no control deficiencies that we found during the course of our audit that would require disclosure to you. Last and certainly not least, as Trustee Hoffman explained, we did discuss the required communications with the Budget and Finance Committee earlier. There were no unusual items or items throughout those communications that I think warrant your attention. I'm just very happy to report that there were no findings during our audit. And certainly, but not last, or certainly, but not least, last but not least, I apologize. I would be remiss if I just didn't acknowledge the entire LACCD team for their tremendous effort to be here today. As we know, 2020 has been a complete whirlwind. It has been unprecedented in so many levels, and that was certainly felt during the course of the audit. And I just want to thank the entire team for their efforts that were just above and beyond. Clearly by a clean audit and by being able to be here today in accordance with sort of the routine timeline that we've seen in a non-COVID environment. And that
Excellent.
concludes my my presentation, but if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Okay, Brianne, thank you for that presentation. Clean audits are clean audits. It's great to hear. So let me go. I see Trustee Hoffman. You got to practice raising your blue hand, not your regular hand. Sometimes you don't see it. But Trustee Hoffman, comments or questions?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Brianne. I do have a question that I actually forgot to ask. It was on my mind and I didn't ask it during the Budget and Finance Committee meeting. There was $8 million that apparently we saved in property taxes. What happens with that? Or can you explain that $8 million? You remember?
That I think just gets rolled over into future periods.
Why? Can you explain the reason why we had the 8 million left over? I guess would be my question.
I think that is related to the items that we brought up, those handful of adjustments. So what that is specifically related to is it's a longtime district policy where you reserve 100% of property taxes that are delinquent, and that's that 8 million. And what we had seen based on your past history is you received maybe about half of those. So maybe you didn't have to fully reserve all 8 million of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay, wonderful. Let me run through quick my colleagues here. Is there any other questions before you go to the next presentation? Okay, seeing none, thank you. 100% clean audit is 100% clean audit. I love it. I appreciate that. Look forward to many more of those in the future. I've had plenty where we had to read a lot of extra. It's this one where we didn't have to read a bunch of extra. So thank you for that. Next, we'll move to the receipt of the performance or the program performance audit for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2020. We heard this in the FEMPOP committee, and I believe, is this Erica on, Chris? I don't know how you're going to do this.
That's
so
right.
Erica,
Erica. Correct. Erica.
All right. I hope you can all hear me.
We can.
Okay, excellent, excellent. So I'm going to go over the performance audit results here, and I'm going to talk a little bit briefly what the performance audit is, since it's a little different than the financial audits. And like President Vera said earlier, I also have good news. It was a great audit this year. And just to cover really quickly what the scope of the engagement is, it's obviously for the construction bonds for the year ended also June 30th, 2020. For construction projects covered by Prop A, Prop AA, Measure J, and Measure CC bond proceeds. And the objectives of a performance audit is different from a financial audit. It's really focused on processes and efficiencies and effectiveness of controls related to those processes as relative to leading practices. And the scope can vary. This year, we focused on policies and procedures, and specifically the standard operating procedures that the bond program have in place. The PMO has that in place. We also reviewed change orders, specifically the justification of change orders, change order pricing. We looked at various approvals and appropriate documentation for support of the change orders in place. That's required by the SOPs. We also reviewed the risk management process, and that really involves the identification, the assessment, the quantifying and tracking, reporting, and closing out of various project risks. Lastly, we reviewed the procurement process. We looked at how you solicit, advertise, do outreach, evaluate your vendors, select and notify those vendors, negotiate with the vendors, and ultimately enter contracts, also as outlined by your SOPs. Going to go to the next page, and we have some good news, as I said. We did not identify any high priority audit observations, and we did not identify any significant internal control deficiencies within the context of the audit. And there were no charges to the program that did not conform to the requirements of Prop A, Prop AA, Measure J, and Measure CC that we identified. And really our observations and recommendations that are detailed in our report really primarily relate to improving and increasing compliance with the standard operating procedures or SOPs. You'll hear us talk about some more here in this presentation. And also added good news is that the majority of those recommendations that we did have already been addressed by the project management office. And that's really good. Our working relationship with the PMO is as we identify things about our audit, we bring it to the team's attentions, and they have not hesitated in jumping on and trying to fix those things that we've pointed out and the recommendations that we've communicated about this audit. The ranking of our observations, you might recognize from prior years, really ranked as high, medium, and low priority. And we wanted to also bring to your attention kind of an overall observation or assessment of the SOPs and the standard operating procedures, which is really the playbook, if you will, that the program operates against. And what we were asked to do this year is to conduct a process, what we consider to be a process control assessment. And that's really comparing the district's SOPs in 5 key areas. We can actually go to the next slide. You'll see those 5 key areas here. And we really compare those to what we consider to be leading practices. And there is a big process and tool that we have in place to do this. And we rate these various areas, each that has 8 to 10 sub areas from 1 to 4, kind of like your regular school grades, 4 being leading of class, which really means that you have sufficient controls in place, are adequately assigned and documented, and everything is working what we consider it to be well. 1, on the other hand, means that the majority of the controls are not working, and it's not really a very well monitored program. And as you can see by this graph, overall, the LACCD bond program scored a 3.43. That's a very high score in this model, which means that really you're all across the board, your operating procedures are really a 3 or a 4. We did not identify any 2s or 1s. And if you see this graph, it also compares the district with other higher education organizations across the board that we've reviewed in the past, and they hover around a 2 overall. And if we look at other industries and other organizations, they're around slightly below at 2.5. So I will give you really high marks for getting the program and getting the controls to where they are today, which is a big improvement from when we started doing our performance audits. So next slide really contains what our standards. We also perform our performance audit in accordance with the generally accepted government auditing standards. And the performance audit report is really supposed to be what's known as a negative report, meaning that we're pointing out things that there could be improvements from. So things that you do well do not generally get included with the report. So in the various areas, the first observation under policies and procedures, there were just a few adjustments that we proposed to these policies and procedures, a few minor areas that are highlighted in our report, nothing that we consider to be significant, really a low priority item. For change orders, we also have 2 low priority items. They really dealt with some minor non-compliance issues with the governing SOPs, a couple of authorizations that were missing, and then some forms that are required that do serve a good purpose that were not consistently used. So there will be some adjustments there. For risk management, that's where we have the majority of our observations. But again, out of the 5 that we have there, only 2 are what we consider to be medium. The first 2 there that you see, observation 4 and 5, really deals with the risk workshops that we have. There was a requirement currently in the SOPs that the regional program directors have to attend these risk identification workshops. They did not do so on a consistent basis. There will be some adjustments to the SOPs for this, as it's not a practice that probably it makes sense. And then there was really observation 5 as a result of COVID. There was not an ability to have these annual risk control workshops that the SOPs call for, so they were put on hold until August. And then since then they have actually been resumed. The last 2 observations, deal with the monitoring of the risk. There are tools that are called the risk registers that are utilized by each college, and they were not consistently monitored or updated that we could see proof of on a monthly basis, which is also required by the SOP and the leading practice. So there's going to be some adjustments to that made by the PMO. There were some processes in the monitoring risk reports. There's various risk reports that didn't necessarily always reconcile as they should. So there were some inconsistencies in that reporting. That's also going to be addressed by the PMO. There is no reliable mechanism in place to track risks as they transition or retired from the risk to becoming a change management item. So there are also some small adjustments there to that process that I believe have already been put in place by the PMO. And then lastly, the procurement observations. There are a couple of observations there that really deal with the a conflict of interest. There are conflict of interest forms that are being filled out by selection panel members as there are selections of vendors. And we did have an instance where someone declared that there was a conflict, a personal conflict due to a prior employment with a vendor that they were asked to evaluate. And there was some unclarity on what steps needed to be followed to assess, document, and resolve these types of conflicts. So there has been in process to be some adjustments to the SOPs accordingly. And lastly, there was one particular participant that was a technical resource in the evaluation panel that was not listed on the evaluation panel memo, which is formally approved by the chief facilities executives, and that's also a requirement. So some small adjustments to the SOPs there as well. But overall, I think this is a very favorable report for the district, and I think it goes to show some of the great improvements that have taken place with the PMO in place and with these SOPs constantly going through updates and improvements, which is what we would expect of a program of this size and complexity. And just like Brianna, I just wanted to also recognize the district and recognize the PMO and assistance that we have received in completing this audit and doing so on a remotely basis this year. So thank you again.
Thank you, Erica. I know at the committee level, we got into a few items a little bit more in depth. I did want to, because I know it's one of those areas that the district is extremely sensitive about, but I did want to highlight the conflict of interest piece, which is one of the issues that we got into a little more depth there. And just for those that are here, I think the conversation was something to the effect of how long should you be away from a firm or have left a firm before being able to be on any kind of evaluation period. And so, of course, I'll use examples in other industries. This could be, months or years. And so, it wasn't that just a lack of, and Eric, to refresh my memory, this was somebody who had been out for a few years.
8 years. Yeah, it was 8 years actually, which seemed at the time, that seems like a long time, but there wasn't any guidance in the SOPs. And even so, that what steps do we go to resolving it? How do we document it? So there was just some strengthening of the processes that needed to be documented.
Yeah, so to be clear, there was no immediate conflict, but just to look to somebody that previously worked 8 years ago for a company, just to make sure we have clear guidance on that. And I know that's something not all of us care deeply about in terms of conflicts, but on a whole, obviously, we were all very positive, especially in the sort of comparables to other industries, to know that the program is performing strongly and very well. And again, credit to Dr. Smith and certainly Jacobs as our program manager. But wanted to open it up for some other questions or comments from the board. You can raise your blue hand. And if there's no questions or comments, we have one more audit to be presented. Okay, seeing none, let's move forward to the receipt of the general obligation.
Sorry, President Vettis, I did raise my hand.
I'm sorry. Trustee Vela.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to commend the team and in particular with the bill staff for being transparent, for turning in all of the necessary paperwork on time to KPMG and to auditors. And I just wanted to, highlight the importance of how, we've come a long way and how much this build program has improved throughout the years with, the leadership of President Hoffman and yourself and the rest of the board and the Chancellor and certainly our build staff, as well as Jacobs and the consultants that help our build program. And for me, it's something of an accomplishment. So I really wanted to emphasize that this is a big step into transparency for our stakeholders who want to ensure that we're transparent in how we operate this build program. And as you can see, we are. And I encourage whoever's watching to be able to log onto our website and find the links to the audit if so be. Just very, very happy to see that this was a very positive interaction. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll move to the last item, and that's the 2019-20 General Obligation Bond Financial Audit. Who are we getting the presentation here from?
That actually was covered in Brianne's presentation when she went through the financial statement and the single audit, and the bond audit.
Okay, so it was done combined. Okay, well then
That's
with
correct.
that, we have them listed as 3 separate items, T2, BB6, and CC1. If I can ask the board to motion the receipt and acceptance of these audits. So can I have a motion on the floor, please?
So moved.
Motion by Trustee Hoffman.
Second.
Second by Trustee Fong. And I'm going to be a little less formal here and ask if there's no objections to receiving these, and note for the record that Trustee Volna is not here. So I'd like to ask any trustees if they're objecting to approving the item, if they can please speak.
President Veras, are we sure everybody's here?
You know what? Let me do this because I got a couple of mics that are not hot. So let's go run through the roll call vote. Lupe, go ahead and do a roll call.
Student Trustee Geronimo's advisory vote.
Yes.
Trustee Wilna, absent. Trustee Fong,
Yes.
Trustee Henderson, absent. Trustee Hoffman.
Sorry, Trustee Henderson, you're here.
She's here.
He's here.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
We can't hear her though.
Trustee Hoffman,
Yes.
Trustee Moreno,
Yes.
Trustee Vela,
Yes.
Trustee Vettis.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll deem the items received and accepted by the board. So thank you for the presentation. Let's move forward now with the combined consent calendar. Items requiring a majority vote. For your review, colleagues, we have items Q1 through BB6. We'll note that obviously BB6 was already received, so it goes to, I guess, BB5. These items here include consent calendars for human resources, personnel, academic and student affairs, budget, finance, business, and facilities. Was there any item that requires any additional information? If you can, please state the item on the agenda so we can review it. Hearing no items to be pulled or heard for additional information, let me ask for a motion on the floor.
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Vela.
Second.
Second by Trustee Fong. Lupa, can we have a roll call vote, please? Thank you.
Student Trustee Geronimo's advisory vote.
Yes.
Trustee Buelna, absent. Trustee Fong,
Yes.
Trustee Henderson, Trustee Henderson, absent. Trustee Hoffman,
Yes.
Trustee Moreno,
Yes.
Trustee Vela,
Yes.
Trustee Vettis.
Yes.
Trustee Henderson, did you want to unmute yourself?
She may have stepped away.
Okay, then we're good.
So,
Mr. Vela, it appears that she is there, but her microphone might not be working.
Okay, okay, we'll put her as a yes because I see her on there and she's unmuted too. Thank
how
you.
about this? If she's there, if she can do it through the chat and can indicate that she's approving this, that might be for the public record. I just want to be sure that yeah, she can indicate by the chat her vote. So I see it.
In the
It's noted in the
She
chat.
has.
She is a yes.
Confirmed. Thank you.
Confirmed. Thank you. Okay. Next, I believe we're going to item DD now. Board members, for your review, we items DD1 through DD12. These items are listed here before you, or any of these items that you request to have additional information for. If you do, please state the item number. I see none. Let's proceed with a motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Vela,
Second.
seconded by Fong. Roll call vote, please.
Student Trustee Geronimo's advisory vote.
Yes.
Trustee Buelna, absent. Trustee Fong,
Yes.
Trustee Henderson. If you could just indicate by chat, that'd be great. Trustee Hoffman,
Yes.
Trustee Moreno,
Yes.
Trustee Vela,
Yes.
Trustee Vettis.
Yes, and I'll note that she did indicate by a chat that she is a yes on these items.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, next is business items EE. Before you, colleagues, these are items related to our foundation agreements at all of our colleges. Chancellor, before asking for questions from the floor here and items, would you mind providing a brief or I guess it's Deputy Chancellor Nish, can you direct us and provide a brief 1-minute summary here of what we're doing with all these items?
Yes, I'm happy to. Then I'll ask that Dr. Nish to do so. She took the lead on this project This essentially establishes the authorization between the relationship between the campus foundations and the district foundation, and it allows us to comply with all the standards and compliance that we need to. So it cleans up the documentation. It allows us to continue to have this relationship with our campus foundations. Dr. Nish, did I miss anything substantial?
Thank you, Chancellor. No, you are correct. This allows us to move forward with all of our college foundations with a current master agreement. And for all college foundations, this will be a 1-year master agreement through the year of 2021.
Okay, thank you for the presentation. Let me take a motion to approve, and then I'll ask if there's any questions here. So, colleagues, is there a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve the agreements with the foundations.
Second.
Trustee Hoffman, seconded by Trustee Vela. Any questions or comments on these items in front of us? Seeing none, let's proceed with the roll call vote.
Student Trustee Geronimo's advisory vote.
Yes.
Trustee Vela. Absent. Trustee Fong.
Yes.
Trustee Henderson. By chat. Trustee Hoffman.
Yes.
Trustee Moreno.
Yes.
Trustee Vela.
Yes.
Trustee Vettis.
Yes, and I'll confirm by chat, Trustee Henderson voted yes.
Thank you.
Okay, next item, facility items, FF. Board members, for your review is FF1 to FF11. Let me take a motion to open the conversation here. Is there a motion on the floor, please?
So move.
Moved by
Second.
Trustee Fong, seconded by Trustee Vela. Are there any items that you wish to request or make a comment on or request questions on? Okay, I see none. And with that, we'll proceed to a roll call vote for approval.
Student Trustee Geronimo's advisory vote.
Yes.
Trustee Vela. Absent. Trustee Fong.
Yes.
Trustee Henderson. Trustee Hoffman.
Yes.
Trustee Moreno.
Yes.
Trustee Vela.
Yes.
Trustee Vettis.
Yes, and I'll note Trustee Henderson marked yes in, or wrote yes in the text
thank
chat
you.
function. Okay. Thank you for that. Next, we'll move on to item GG, which is human resource items. Again, there's a number of Chancellor, I'd like to actually ask if you can do a brief summary here of the actions that are being taken.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. President. Very happy to forward to you as a very strong, enthusiastic recommendation the employment actions for these 4 individuals. Item GG1 deals with the Deputy Chancellor position and the recommendation of Dr. Melinda Nish, who has served in this capacity over the last 2.5 years. The second item relates to GG2, the employment action for president, and that is for the permanent president at East Los Angeles College. Dr. Alberto Roman has served in interim capacity since July the 1st, and I'd like your support for having him continue on in a permanent capacity. Will begin on January the 1st for a 2.5-year term. And it relates to item GG3, the employment of an interim president. This is for the interim presidency vacancy at LA Harbor College with the departure of and retirement of Dr. Lee. I'd like to recommend your support of Vice President of Student Services, Dr. Luis Dorado, for a 1-year term beginning on January the 1st of 2021. And item action GG4, it relates to the continued interim Vice Chancellor of Human Resources continuation for Dr. Mercedes Gutierrez, who served in this capacity since July 1st of this year. So again, enthusiastically supporting your endorsing your support for these 4 outstanding educators.
Chair Vettis, this is Jeff Prieto, and I just wanted to know, because there's been questions in the past, that language meets all of the statutory requirements in terms of the required information that we are provided to provide publicly. So just wanted to, again, note that for the record.
Yep.
Thank you for that notation.
Yep.
Colleagues, I'll take any questions or comments from any of you now. If not, then I'll ask for a motion in a second.
Can I ask for a point of clarification, Mr. Prieto? I believe, President Veras, you need to read out loud each, you need to do an oral sort of presentation on each of the positions, reading exactly what it says in the board agenda. Correct, Mr. Prieto?
I apologize. I was gonna call you President Hoffman, so this will take one meeting. But no, Trustee Hoffman is correct. Again, that language is all correct. We have done this in the past for academic positions. As it relates, this is the correct language. We can read it into the record, and that is the statutory requirement.
Right, and then we can take a motion in a second and have discussion.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes, that I would plan to do that. Happy to take additional questions or comments before we read that into the record.
President Veras, I think I raised my hand.
Okay, 1 second. I am. Yes, you did. So, Trustee Vela, questions or comments?
Absolutely. So I just wanted to really thank the Chancellor for bringing these names forward. I appreciate the ability to work together with the Chancellor in these very important positions. And furthermore, seeing a woman being appointed as our interim Vice Chancellor for Human Resources, I think is a step in the right direction, in particular Latina woman. And I'm really proud to see more women in positions of leadership, like Deputy Chancellor Melinda Nish as well. And then seeing a homegrown candidate as Dr. Alberto Roman take over as president of East LA College. So I want to thank the Chancellor in particular and my colleagues on the board for advancing a more diverse leadership in academics here at the district. Thank you.
Great, sounds good. Thank you. Trustee Hoffman, questions or comments?
Yeah, I do. I have a question and a comment, but did you want to do that? Do you want to do those now before we go through and do the motions in the second?
I was my plan was to read each and take votes individually and read each statement. So I just thought it would be easier to take them if they needed to be dealt with in general.
Great. So thank you, Chancellor. I want to acknowledge everything that my colleague Trustee Vela just said, and I'm excited to vote on these today. I do have a question. You know, we recently launched a women's caucus through the league, and encouraging women from across the state through our system to join the caucus. And the number one priority is to, and we're taking the lead on this, by the way, put out a resolution about equal pay for women, especially at this level, at the president, chancellor, vice president level. So I do have a question, not to be a killjoy, as to why our interim president at Harbor College will be placed on step 2. We do have presidents that are still on step 1 that are current presidents. And why would our vice chancellor of human resources, that's a kind of a comparable salary schedule, be placed on step 1? And so I think, you know, in some ways it looks like, you know, we're giving an unfair advantage to a male person stepping into that role. And I just want to, I'm just concerned as to why he wouldn't be put on step 1.
Yeah. Thank you for that question. It's an excellent question. We have a rating in process that we use that is gender neutral, if you will. And the rating in is based on years of experience. And it was HR. It's not done randomly by me or by anyone else. There is a formal rating in process that takes into account years of experience, degrees, and all those matters. So in the cases that you see there, this is where they were rated in per the human resources process that we follow for all executives. But I understand your point. And now, as you know, we can't use previous salary as a point of what might be a person's future salary. So, but we did take everything into account, including years of experience.
All right, thank you. I'll work with Dr. Gutierrez more on trying to, you know,
we're happy to share what that rating and process is. That it's a formal process that HR does.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for the question.
Thank you. Student Trustee Jeronimo.
Yes, thank you, Trustee Hoffman, for projecting your voice on equal pay here. I would like to congratulate Dr. Roman on becoming the elect president. I also want to thank him for always being working with the student at ASO. I've seen him working with ASO President Bai. Thank you so much, and that's it.
Thank you. Trustee Fong.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. I stand and rise to support these 4 nominations, and just to echo my colleagues' comments, thank you, Trustee Hoffman, for bringing that up. I think looking at the rating and period and process would be good. But thank you so much to everyone on the board, and we interviewed amazing candidates for the president of East LA College, and congratulations. I look forward to working with Dr. Roman, who's going to build a lot of amazing external partnerships and really in the community. With Dr. Nish, it's been great working with you these past few years, and look forward to working with you as well. And to Dr. Dorado, thank you for your leadership and efforts, especially around enrollment and the organizing piece there. And congratulations to Dr. Gutierrez. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other comments from the trustees, from the board? Okay, seeing none, I'll begin the oral presentations, and we'll go through each items individually for votes. So the first item is GG1, and that is to approve the contract employment for Dr. Melinda Nish to serve as the Deputy Chancellor of the Los Angeles Community College from January 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2024. Dr. Nish will be placed on the Deputy Chancellor's salary schedule, as noted on the record 2508958, and will be entitled to the same health and welfare benefits as are received by other unrepresented administrators, including retiree health benefits, and will receive the $500 per month transportation allowance. So with that, I'll ask for a motion to approve.
I would like to move to approval for Dr. Nish as our Deputy Chancellor.
Motion by Trustee Hoffman. Can I ask for a second, please?
Second.
Second by Trustee Fong. Can we have a roll call vote?
Trustee Vela? Absent. Trustee Fong?
Yes.
Trustee Henderson? We'll go through chat. Trustee Hoffman?
Yes.
Trustee Moreno?
Yes.
Trustee Vela?
Yes.
Trustee Veras?
Yes.
And just to know for the record that the student doesn't vote on these items. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Henderson has entered her yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item, GG2. It's employment action for president. Second to get the language here. This is for the board to approve a contract of employment for Dr. Alberto J. Roman as college president of East Los Angeles College from January 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2023, with a starting salary step at step 5, $21,352.83 per month of the president's salary schedule. Dr. Roman will receive a $500 a month car allowance and will be entitled to same health and welfare benefits as are received by other underrepresented administrators, including retiree health benefits. So motion by Trustee Vela.
I'll second.
Second, I got 2 seconds. So just second by Trustee Hoffman. We'll go at gender equity with this motion. With that, Ms. Orozco, can you do a roll call, please?
Trustee Vela? Absent. Trustee Hoffman?
Yes.
Trustee Fong?
Yes.
Trustee Henderson? You could unmute yourself. Trustee Henderson, she's on the phone now.
Okay, good.
Okay. We'll come back to her. Trustee Moreno?
Yes.
Trustee Vela?
Yes.
Trustee Veras?
Yes.
Trustee Henderson?
I think I saw you light up.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you. You're back in on voice here. Thank you. Motion passes. Congratulations, Dr. Roman. We'll move to GG3, employment action for interim president. This is to approve the contract of employment for Dr. Luis Dorado as interim college president of Los Angeles Harbor College from January 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2021. Dr. Dorado's salary will be step 2, $18,108 and $51 per month of the vice chancellor and college president's salary schedule, and will be entitled to the same health and welfare benefits as received by other unrepresented administrators, including retiree health benefits. He will receive a $500 per month car allowance. Can I ask for a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Motion by Trustee Vela, second.
Second.
Second by Trustee Fong.
Yes.
And if I can ask for Mr. Orozco to do a roll call vote, please.
Trustee Vela, absent. Trustee Fong,
Yes.
Trustee Henderson,
Yes.
Trustee
Yes.
Hoffman. Thank you. Trustee Hoffman,
Yes.
Trustee Moreno,
Yes.
Trustee Vela,
Yes.
Trustee Vettis.
Yes. Last item here, GG4. This is an employment action for interim vice chancellor. Is to approve the contract of employment for Dr. Mercedes Gutierrez as interim vice chancellor, January 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2020. Dr. Gutierrez is placed on step 1 of the vice chancellor. Actually, I'm not sure this is one that we read into the record, but I will do it anyhow. I'm just noting that in my head, but of the vice chancellor and college president salary scale, and will be entitled to the same health and welfare benefits as are received by other unrepresented administrators, including retiree benefits. She earns or receives the $500 a month car allowance. So I apologize for the hiccup there, but processing in my head what's supposed to be read as permanent and what's not as interim. But if with that, can I ask for a motion on the floor to approve this?
I'll move to approve.
Motion by Trustee Hoffman.
Second.
Second by Trustee Vela. And a roll call vote.
Trustee Vela, absent. Trustee Fong,
Yes.
Trustee Henderson,
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman,
Yes.
Trustee Moreno,
Yes.
Trustee Vela,
Yes.
Trustee Vettis.
Yes. Okay, so with that, congratulations, Deputy Chancellor Nish and President Roman. You get to remove interims from your titles, which is wonderful. And welcome to the hot seat, Dr. Dorado, and of course Mercedes Gutierrez. Thank you so much for the work you've been doing and the work you'll continue to do for us here. So thank you with that. Student trustee, you have your hand up. I just wanted to check and see if there's a comment to be made or.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just for public records, in the past I have voted on items similar as this one. I don't know if that has been a mistake. I don't know.
That was an error.
Okay.
No, and just so for clarification for the record, the student trustee does not vote on personnel matters.
Okay.
So if we were not diligent, I do apologize. That's not Ms. Orozco's fault. That would be my fault. But that is the one area where the student trustee would not vote.
However, he was able to make comments, and that's perfectly fine. So appreciate it. Thank you for clarifying that for us, everyone. Next, we'll move to item HH, notice reports and informatives. There's no action required here, but these are notices to the board. I believe I want everybody to pay special note to item number 2, which is our public calendared meetings for the 2021 year. General Counsel, this is notice under informatives. Is this a required motion or is this just to receive and accept?
That is just a notice. And here's one area. Please, Ms. Orozco, if I'm incorrect, but it is just a notice, correct?
Correct, just a notice. And
I
then it's got, January will
in
come
these
back for an
particular
action.
matters, as you can tell.
Got it. Sounds good. Thank you for that. So we'll receive that. And, I'm sorry, we were going to do a motion on that one, but it's just a receive. So we receive that and that's the calendar dates. So
You'll approve it on January the 6th, sir.
yes, I believe it's the first notice. And then if there's any comments or changes, I think this was submitted a few weeks back by the Chancellor. And I know Trustee Henderson is here now, so I'm not sure if she had a chance to sort of look at the dates and see if there was any conflicts. We do our best to avoid holidays and any other sort of potential conflicts, but you know, it's a year in advance, and then I believe we'll agendize this at the next meeting for formal adoption. Okay. With that, any announcements or indications of future proposed items by members of the board? Trustee Hoffman?
Yeah, thank you for calling on me. I just have a comment, and first of all, congratulations, Dr. Nish. We're very happy to have you. Since we use board docs for our agenda, is there a way, because it looks like we're going to be in this remote situation for quite some time, to fully utilize the board docs for voting as well? Because I hear it's a really great way to vote, especially if we're having technology problems. Can we look into like using the full functionality? Is that something that we can explore, Dr. Nish or Chancellor?
I'm happy to respond. Thank you very much for the question. We absolutely may do voting through board docs. It will require all of the board members to be logged into board docs, actively authenticated into board docs, and moving through the agenda items. But yes, we can do that. We have the full functionality to do that. I'd be happy to provide training for that.
Work with the President Veras if you're open to that. I think it might, it would help to speed things along when we are voting during board meetings.
Trustee, we can raise this at our goal setting and see if this could be potentially one of our goals here. That would be great. I would love to. I got board docs on the other side that I'm doing too, so I'm doing both. And for those of us that are trying to run these meetings, it's habit now, but want to make sure everybody feels comfortable with the vote process. So thank you for bringing that up. Very important suggestion. So any other comments for proposed or future actions? Okay, seeing none, we'll move to public comment. I apologize, we're close to the 6:30 that was predicted, but I appreciate those that have waited. Ms. Orozco, can you read off those that were interested in making comments to the board on items not on the board meeting?
Yes, right now we have 15 people on the list. I'll start with the first one, Kenneth Brown, and we'll be moving them in as fast as we
Actually,
can.
can I ask, are they all in the same item? And is there, I did
Yes.
not.
They're all on STU-IU issues.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trustees, typically we do per item, I believe we have a 20-minute category for the whole thing. And so I wanted to ask if there was a desire to, since we have 15 members, to attempt to give everybody an equal opportunity to speak from the SEIU membership here. Our speaking time at 30 minutes, that would be 45 minutes of public comment. Is there a motion or a suggestion to reduce the time and accommodate our board rules to do it within 20 minutes? So that would be essentially 1 to 2 minutes each. I'm open to either item, either timeline. So.
Mr. Veras, 1.5 minutes will get you close to 20.
Okay. So to be in compliance with the board rules, if I can ask for a motion for a 1.5 minute public comment here. Is there a motion for that?
Yeah, so moved.
Trustee Moreno motions. Second, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Trustee Hoffman. Roll call vote on the 1.5 minute time.
Trustee Geronimo's advisory vote.
Yes.
Trustee Welna, absent. Trustee Fong.
Yes.
Trustee Henderson.
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman.
Yes.
Trustee Moreno.
Yes.
Trustee Vela.
Yes.
Trustee Veras.
Yes. Okay, thank you for that. So Lupe, we have 1.5 minutes for those that are listening, waiting to speak. As your timetable, Ms. Orozco will provide the timing, and if she can read off the list of those who have requested to speak for the board.
Okay, we'll start with the people that are already on the panelists. Taiwan Cells. You could unmute yourself, please. You have 1.5 minutes. We'll go with Urain Bell. Urain Bell, unmute yourself, please. If you could unmute yourself so that when we call you out, you're ready. Ramir Barrientos, unmute yourself, please.
Okay, Raina Bell here. I'm unmuted. Hi, everybody.
Perfect. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. I want to congratulate everybody on their electoral, their elective seats, the re-elects and the new elects. Thank you for extending the contract for the sheriff's department as well. But I just have a comment or maybe a concern that, maybe I'd like somebody to eventually look into about the custodians going back to a 50-50 shift, because we have, our department, we're really having some high concerns about, COVID within the district. We really are. I am aware, and I've spoken to several people that are actually positive that was on campus that came in contact with people, and the people that they came in contact will not admit it. So, we don't have any measures, any preventative measures in our department while we work together for our safety. No temperature checks, no, I'm asking maybe every 10 days, because you have to have, they take 72 hours to get your results back. So I'm just hoping that if in 72 hours, let's say you get tested on Friday, by Monday, you can have your results back. At least we have some idea of what, of who's, who we're working around, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, so I mean, it's just some concerns in that department. And then there's some issues with our MOU. There's some where they're offering.
Thank you.
Okay.
Ms. Bell.
Taiwan Sales, Raymond Barrentos, if you could please unmute yourself while you're waiting. Chris Ozan, please unmute yourself. Victoria Gutierrez.
I'm here.
Perfect. You have a minute and a half. Go ahead.
Okay, hi, this is Chrisano Zan. I represent SEIU. I spoke earlier to you guys about the concerns that our members have regarding the 50-50 schedule. They're requesting to go back to a 50-50 schedule because of the increased number of COVID cases throughout the district with our members. Plus, we're running into problems, with the district as far as, our members being members that are being tested, that's tested positive, is not being reported to the campus, and it's not being reported to the district. I mean, we just run into all kind of problems. Members are still being asked to work in groups. We have management that's telling our members not to tell other members that they've been infected with COVID, so they won't have to take the time off to, go get tested or quarantine. So we having issues like this. So, but the main point is that, we're asking that our members go back to a 50-50 schedule, and then we having issues with the members that are impacted with, COVID related issues, whether they're 65 or older or have chronic illnesses or whatever, they're not being accommodated, to work remotely from home. So we have a big issue with that also. And I ask that the district look into this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Raymer Barrientos, and I work at Pierce College, and I was exposed, and I contracted COVID-19, and I've been out of work since November 2nd. I want to say I'm a survivor of COVID, and I've been struggling with my health. It really hit me hard. I almost died, and my whole family got infected because I brought it home, even though I was quarantined. My 4 daughters got sick. My wife got sick, and we went to go get tested this week, and I should be waiting on my results. I just want to share that we were doing the 50-50 schedule. We were fine. We went back full time, and that's when I contracted COVID-19. And I have now scar tissues in my lungs. I get fatigue, and I'm trying to speak fast because I start coughing a lot when I speak. But I just want to let you know that since we went to the full time, that's when I got infected at work. And I'm not the only one. My coworker also. And then he just went back to work, and I'm still at home trying to fight COVID. Now they're using my time. They're using my illness time, my vacation times, because 14 days is not enough, especially if you have a family. We all get sick. This is not just one person per family. Everybody gets sick. Thank you so much for hearing me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Victoria Gutierrez.
Hi.
Hi, go ahead, please.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm going to go fast. Question, why did LACCD administration under Chancellor Rodriguez and Mercedes Gutierrez ask us to come back to work at full capacity during a global pandemic to maintain campuses that are not currently in use? How does having us on campus at full capacity during a global pandemic support LACCD students in achieving academic success? How are we essential to their learning objectives? Back in October, Deputy Chancellor Melinda Nish made the claim that we are safer at work than we are at home. Can someone please explain to me why someone with a PhD in education is providing medical advice that could result in loss of life? And if her claim is true, when can we expect the rest of you to join us on campus? Another question, how do you expect us to reconcile the contradictions of all the social justice platitudes you guys make on a daily basis, such as Black Lives Matter, immigrant justice, LGBT rights, when the same people sending out these emails, such as LACC President Mary Gallagher, are actively working toward further endangering the lives of Black people, immigrants, queer people, and other working class people of color who make up the bulk of your maintenance staff? Or do you only care about marginalized communities when they're paying tuition? With regards to race and equity, Black and Latino populations are suffering the devastating effects of COVID-19 at a disproportionate rate. Why is LACCD administration so eager to contribute to the pandemic mortality rate within Black and Latino communities? How does your treatment of us fit into your recently adopted framework for racial equity and social justice? Why is it that LACCD administration, especially you, Chancellor, think that your lives are more important than ours? If I have misread your actions and it's not the case that you think your lives are more valuable than ours, then you can prove it by reinstating a rotational 50-50 schedule, providing accommodations for vulnerable populations to work from home full-time, to cover all expenses, including wages for COVID-related absences, to provide us with hero pay retroactively, to institute temperature checks, and couple that.
I'm sorry, you've been over your 1.5 minutes. Thank you.
All right.
Ms. Taiwan Sells, please unmute yourself. Capri, please unmute yourself. Anthony Smith, please unmute yourself.
Hello, hi. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you. Go ahead.
Hi, this is Anthony. Just wanted to say I think it's very important that we do go back on a rotation. We all have families. We all have loved ones that we care about, and I just feel like if we really I feel like if everyone cares about us and everyone else can be at home, most of the people go to work, like payroll goes to work once a week. And I feel like if they can do that, we can do the same. At our campus at ELAC, we already been contracted. I mean, the COVID has been on campus at least 2 or 3 times. So I'm concerned about my family and their safety. So if we can bring down the exposure without everyone being together, I think it'd be nice. That's it.
Thank you. Capri, can you please unmute yourself? Thank you.
Yes, my concern is the fact that since this pandemic has started and the schedules has been Monday through Friday, social distancing hasn't been enforced, and that's an issue for me. And the fact that people have been allowed to bring the COVID to the campuses and everyone not being aware of it and not being made to quarantine is also an issue. I'm a single parent, and if I get sick, my daughter has nobody else. I can't afford to get sick during this pandemic. So that's like my main issues.
Thank you. Carlos Diaz.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'll try and make this quick. I, unlike my colleagues, think we should go one step further. We're living through tumultuous and extraordinary times. This pandemic is something that has been in our that has affected us, that hasn't affected us in over 100 years. And this is not just a cliche. This is something that needs to be repeated. You have people and human beings that are on the front lines of this pandemic, facing it in real possibilities of contracting and passing this virus to others and around them. This is not an exaggeration. This is one of the worst case scenarios coming to be. We know of coworkers in our ranks that have contracted this virus unknowingly and are being told that now that they have COVID, they now have to figure out what to do and how to take care of it. And then they have to figure out if it's going to affect them and how it's going to affect their loved ones at home and how to explain this to them because of the exposure. Again, this is not an exaggeration. This isn't dramatic. It is real. This is a reality that starts the minute you walk out the door. Not because you're going to work or going to the grocery store. The first,
your minute and a half. Thank you. Taiwan Sales, please unmute yourself. We'll go to phone number, last four digits, 4569. You can speak. Thank you. Hello? Okay, I'll go to the
Yes, this is Filiberto Barajas. Was I being called?
Yes, you are, sir. Go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Chancellor Rodriguez, Board of Trustees, newly elected officials, and re-elected officials. I'll try to be brief, but it saddens me that I must say that gradually, with a clear conscience, since I was one who took part in conversation with the district to avoid us returning to a full schedule, I believe that the irresponsible arrogance of the district powers that be that forced us to return back to a full schedule has caused numerous infections of COVID-19. I, who work out of East Los Angeles College, was saddened to hear that 4 of our 99 members have contracted COVID-19. So I ask, Chancellor, I ask Board of Trustees that you reverse this irresponsible decision by the powers that be that forced us to put us back in harm's way to return to a 50-50 schedule. And I would also like to congratulate Dr. Alberto Roman, who will be serving as president at my alma mater, East Los Angeles College. Again, Chancellor Rodriguez, board members, please hear our plea. Thank you.
Thank you. Taiwan Sales, if you could unmute yourself, please. Okay, Kenneth Brown, Emiliano Barangua, Darlie Beecham, Juan Rosales, Irma Lopez, Dean Brown. Okay, so I think that's it. From the list, nobody else is on, and Ms. Sells just checked off. We're good.
Okay. Thank you. So everybody had an opportunity to speak, and thank you. We do take your public comments very seriously, and appreciate your time and patience waiting through the meeting here. Okay, we're going to move forward with item KK, report of actions taken closed session. Mr. Barreto, I believe there is no reportable actions, correct?
Chair Bettis, that is absolutely correct. Per the Brown Act, there are no items that were taken in closed session that need to be reported at this particular time.
Okay, wonderful. We're going to. Yes. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yes. I'm just wondering if the items that were discussed in closed session are they going to be repeated in closed session for action, or are we done with those topics in closed session?
We, I believe, are that wasn't most of the closed session were updates provided to us. There will be follow-ups later. as appropriate and scheduled. But yeah, I don't believe we have any other action. We've completed the closed session for today prior to the meeting,
Yes.
so there's no additional closed session afterwards. So the only thing left on the agenda is adjournment, colleagues. So unless there's any other comments, as long as there's no objections, I would like to declare the meeting adjourned, and congratulations again. And we got through our second full meeting together as a new board. So thank you all, and I bid everyone here who was with us a good night here.
Thank you and good night.
Good night.
Night. Happy holidays, everyone. Congratulations, everyone.
President Veras.
Have a great night, everyone.
Good night.